100% money-back guarantee. If you don't love and think that my trinity of beast and butt rub, chicken mamu, and Acadiana steak seasoning aren't the best and most essential spices in your arsenal, I'll buy them back from you.
It may not be holy, King Dude, but that's the best spice and rub deal on this side of heaven.
Order Mike Church's set of Trinity rubs and save big at mikechurch.com/rub. That's one bottle each of beast and butt rub, chicken mamu lemon herb seasoning, and Acadiana steak seasoning for one low price and the King Dude's money back guarantee. Order today at mikechurch.com/rub. We don't know why Trump started a war with Iran, made deals with Roundup, and got Thomas Massey canceled. But we do know there's a pound of gold in Mike Church's studio, and all you have to do to win it is listen for the golden sound of the day. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. on The Mike Church Show at MikeChurchShow.com and on YouTube at Real King Dude.
Don't worry, folks, we're here. We're live, asking the question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you. Vandalism,
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire.
The thunder will now unite.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
All righty, our call-in line telephone number, if you'd like to be on the program today, 844-527-8723, 844-5-CRUSADE, email address, same as it ever hath been, I am KingDude at ProtonMail.com. Crusader Stadium, Mike Church Show chat room open for all of your commentary at crusadechannel.com/chat. Your home for the 2026 Win a Pound of Gold raffle, which you can get a ticket or 200 or 1,000, depending on how desperately or how excitedly, rather, you wish to win 1 troy pound of gold from me that I will be sending to someone on July the 2nd. That's next Thursday when the drawing is held. Get your tickets today. It is, I'll say, a fundraiser for the Crusade Radio Guild and Census Fidelium. So treat it as a fundraiser and be as generous as you can, because without your generosity, the contest and the raffle doesn't go on, and neither do we. So get your tickets right now at winapoundofgold.com. Now, I realize this isn't the biggest, most important issue that there is, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. The Green Mile, Sludge Pool, Algae Gate. Algae Gate. If you go back to November you know what, I had it as it was pinned to my X feed for the longest time, and I finally took it down. You know what, let me just scroll through my my Twata messages here. If you were to go back to November 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere up in there, the year of our Lord and Savior, Anno Domini, 2024. So this would have been days after the election of President Trump. Okay, I got my Twitter file open now. Let me go back. I'll talk while I'm going backwards. Oh, here it is. I have it right here. Maggie, I'm going to send it to you in Signal so you can play it. Okay. The first True Social post that Trump made post-election was not about policy. I just want everyone to remember this. Okay, it's in your Signal. Let me hit send, and you'll have it. It wasn't about policy. It was about an event that is about to happen, and it was to gin up kind of excitement about the event that's about to happen. And historians like me, America First people, and people that spend a lot of time hanging out with the founding fathers and writing books and making movies about them, as I have done, were very excited about what was going to happen and about the Amaze Ball celebration that was going to be the 250th birthday of the United States on July the 4th of this year. So we're, 11 days away, something like that. And where is the excitement? Well, it has completely been killed. It's vanished. I was asking people last week in an informal radio poll, raise your hand if you had big plans for the July 4th weekend or for the July 4th, 2026, the bi-semi-sesquicentennial 250th birthday signing of the Declaration, or the passing of the Declaration of Independence. And as I said, the Declaration was actually passed on July 2nd, would be the correct date. But everyone says it's July 4th because that's the edited version of Jefferson's work, and that's it was made famous by a newspaper in Philadelphia. You know, all these stories are in my movies, all of them, and there's some very interesting stories, amazing stories that no one other than people that have worked with me and maybe have heard, like, for example, or watched The Road to Independence, the movie, or watched the Pages of Independence, or listened to it on the subsequent Independence Days, where we kind of went in search of the actual artifacts from July the 4th, and that is, where's the original copy that Jefferson wrote, and were there draft copies of the Declaration? And there were, and if there were, where are they? Well, I can tell you where at least two of them are. In any event, let me take you back My Twitter says that I saved this on November the 7th, 2024. So the election was on the 5th, right? It was November the 5th. So this would have been Thursday. President Trump posted this on Thursday, November the 7th. Maggie, you have it now, right? Okay, play it. Monologue won't work without being able to hop back into the KingDude's Wayback Machine. This is what he posted. This was the first thing that he published, and I said, well, that is one heck of a first kind of statement from Trump 2.0 coming in next year, and it was this.
3 years from now, the United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history. 250 years of American independence. What a great country. And we have to keep it that way. But that's why, as a nation, we should be preparing for a most spectacular birthday party. We want to make it the best of all time. Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves. On day one, I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation, starting on Memorial Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026. Second, I will work with all 50 governors, Republican and Democrat.
None of this has happened.
To create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states. It'll be something. The Great American State Fair will showcase the glory of every state in the Union, promote pride in our history, and put forth innovative visions for America's future. My hope is that the amazing people of Iowa will work with my administration to open up the legendary Iowa State Fairgrounds to host the Great American State Fair and welcome millions and millions of visitors from around the world to the heartland of America for this special one-time festival. Together we will build it and they will come. Third, alongside the Great American State Fair, we will host major sporting contests for high school athletes. These are great.
I know
athletes,
this one hasn't
wonderful
happened.
Athletes from fantastic high schools all around the country. These Patriot Games will allow young Americans from every state to show off the best of American skill, sportsmanship, and competitive spirit. Fourth, I will sign an executive order to bring back our National Garden of American Heroes, which we want to build very badly. Commission artists for the first 100 statues to populate this new statuary park honoring the greatest Americans of all time. Fifth, as president, I will invite the leaders and citizens of nations around the world to visit the United States in honor of our 250th anniversary. It's going to be great. America's tourist industry should get ready because we're going to have a lot of people coming. It will be a record year. And finally, and most importantly, I will ask America's great religious communities to pray for our nation and our people as we prepare for this momentous occasion. From the very beginning, America has been a country sustained and strengthened by prayer and by our communities of faith. As we chart a course toward the next 250 years, let us come together and rededicate ourselves as one nation under God. Thank you.
Okay. What happened? The symbol now of the 250th birthday party is basically a three-ring circus with a bunch of guys knuckling and beating each other up 2 Sundays ago. That's the first of the, was that part of the Great American State Fair? I don't think so. And then the erection of the rest of the three-ring circus. And then now you have the specter of the green sludge of the algae mile that the Washington Monument and the monument at the other, I guess it's Lincoln, are now reflecting green, gooey algae. It's so bad the ducks won't even swim in the water to cool off. And now the latest is, this is an act of vandalism. Our country deserves much better, and it's vandalism. And that's all I'm telling you. Somebody sabotaged the pumps. The pump was sabotaged. and nobody noticed? You know, if you have an in-ground swimming pool in your backyard and you go outside to take the net and scoop the leaves out every day during the summer, which most people do, you will know whether or not your pump is running because, number one, you'll hear it, and number two, you'll see the water motion that is coming from the skim tank or from the skin pit, and then from the various little jets that go along the side of your pool that keep the water moving. So one would kind of notice this, wouldn't you? Well, apparently not. It wasn't noticed until, well, no, why is it green? It looks like lime, it looks like a scene from Nickelodeon. What's going on here? Screw this up. Now, I had that video that I just played for you on my pinned videos on my X and Pride Book accounts. And it sounded great to me, and I was very excited about it. You know, I'm the producer, writer, and director and narrator of one of them, The Road to Independence and The Road to Independence, the movie. So I have spent a little time with this document called the Declaration of Independence, and you might say that I kind of know it like the back of my hand. So I was excited about it. You know anyone now that's still excited about 250? I suppose the old brainwashed people who are MK Ultra'd. You know, we need a name for this. It's I need a modern name for MK Ultra that encompasses Fox, FAUX, fake Fox News. I suppose that the people that are still addicted to the Iranian war and the joy of watching the bombs go off and the rockets red glare, the only rockets red glare are the ones that are being fired from Lebanon or from Israel into Lebanon. But who else is excited about this? Here, this is today. If you go grab the copy of today's New York Times, you will find this. The dispute over events for America's 250th birthday explained. Two national groups, including one backed by President Trump, have planned an array of activities to celebrate the country's semi-quincentennial. States are also hosting many events. Well, where's the hoopla? Why is no one talking about this? The number one topic of conversation is Zionism, Catholicism's moral crisis, the Israelis bombing the Lebanese, oil and gas prices, and then the sludge growing in the reflecting pond. No one's talking about hanging the bunting and baking apple pies and having hot dog eating contests and whatever else you would think of when you conjure up an image of a celebration for the Declaration of Independence and for the 4th of July. The planning of celebrations for the 250th anniversary of American independence has been underway for nearly a decade, but as July 4th approaches, confusion and criticism have mounted over what some believe has become an overly partisan endeavor. I can't say that it's overly partisan because I can't find it with a search warrant. There's another story. So if you go to, Great American State Fair is, if you go to Washington.org, and we'll see it on the homepage. It says a coast-to-coast state fair unlike like no other, daily, June 25th. That's in 2 days. July the 10th, times vary. A Great American State Fair is a 16-day national exposition running from June 25th, spanning from the U.S. Capitol to the Washington Monument. Now, they got a major problem here because the Washington Monument, the reflecting pond, is basically condemned. Maggie, is it still open? Or people still... You can still walk around and see the sludge.
Yeah, Yeah, but Trump has now posted National Guard. National Guardmen are men and women are walking around making sure no one's touching the water or getting their hands in the water.
Okay, so nothing screams independence, freedom, and liberty like armed troops marching around in some kind of an arrangement or in sequence around a body of water, guarding it to make sure that nefarious types can't stick their hands in the water. The once-in-a-generation feature. Okay, I suppose that the upshot of all of this is it was supposed to be all of us celebrating.
The Mike Church Show will give away the most incredible prize in broadcast history and change the way the world thinks about talk media and talk media hosts forever.
Membership has its privileges.
American Express was right back in the 1970s. Membership has its privileges, and no membership privilege is greater to a Red, White, and Dude Nation listener than membership in the elite membership club that is the Dude Number. Here's Lee to tell you how to get yours.
That's right, King Dude. Membership does have its privileges. And when it comes to the Dude Number, applying for membership has never been easier. Just head to mikechurch.com/dude to start the membership process. Your unique and one-of-a-kind membership and all the privileges that come with it awaits you. As a member, you'll enjoy private chat groups, VIP privileges to all Mike Church Show events, early access to new Dude-geared store items, and of course, your unique Dude Number.
Dude 1210 reporting all quiet on the Eastern Front.
This is Mike's favorite punching bag, Dude number 13.
Hi, this is Steve. My Dude Number is 2112.
Dude number 2004, proud member of the Red, White, and Dude Nation reporting for duty.
Become a part of something bigger than any talk show there is and apply for your Dude Number today at mikechurch.com/dude.
Membership has its privileges.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. When making Raiders, Spielberg chose the Golden Ark of the Covenant because he knew audiences wouldn't go, ooh, ah, if Nazis stole a parchment scroll containing a psalm. Now, we don't know where the lost Ark is, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe, and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd, and you don't have to say, ooh, ah, to win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winnapoundofgold.com. Ark of the Covenant sold separately.
In 1983, ZZ Top made the song
Crazy about a shark dance.
And it was true from the time that song came out till around 2010, when girls stopped going crazy over a sharp-dressed man because men stopped dressing sharply. Cargo shorts, flip-flops, and tank tops became all the rage for men's public casual wear, to say nothing of how they dressed for mass. Well, as my listeners and viewers know, there's hardly anything more important to me than being a
shark dance man.
And to help you become one, I'm introducing the official necktie of the Mike Church Show, Proselytize, whose designs are not only striking, they're 100% Catholic. You will look fantastic and like a sharp-dressed Catholic man in your Proselytize neckties. Available now in the Mike Church Show haberdashery at shop.mikechurch.com. Shop for ties, caps, t-shirts, and much more in the Mike Church Show haberdashery at shop.mikechurch.com. All right, let's go to the Golden Truth Ticket hotline here. Caller number 5. Who's this?
This is Bushwood Lady.
Bushwood Lady for the win.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You're named after everyone's favorite golf course.
Actually, it's a little town in Maryland.
Bushwood, Maryland. I don't think I have ever been there.
Well, it's right on the Wycomico River.
Oh, sounds...
Across from Robert E. Lee's birthplace in Virginia.
That is an important landmark.
Yes, and we're the only probably southern part of Maryland left.
So you still sing Maryland, My Maryland?
Yes, in the old way.
Yes. Well, Betsy, you have the secret password of the day?
Is it Duckies?
Duckies it is.
Great.
Okay, if you are to win my gold on July the 2nd, what will you use it for?
I will probably help my children pay off some debt.
Well, that's a new answer. Help children pay off debt. I feel like Richard Dawson. Survey said.
Well, I am an old person, so I won't be needing it where I'm going, I hope.
Well, I thank you so much for calling. Congratulations to you, Betsy, and good luck.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You too, folks, can be our next winner. Listen every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. for the soundbite of the day. We'll play it back later in the day. Be the right number caller. Have my secret password of the day from YouTube, and you win not one but two Golden Truth tickets. But you don't have to wait for that, because you can get your Golden Truth ticket today at winapoundofgold.com.
My church. Some MAGA cons think he has a hole in his head because Trump's rambling bullshit goes in the right ear and then right out the other. We understand.
Of Sapientia, the Oracle of Optimism, the Dauphine of Due Diligence, Mike Church here with you. Remember this sound? That is the sound of winning a pound of silver for the second place ticket that I will pull out of that rabbit's hat next Thursday. To win a pound of gold. A raffle is coming up, and you can't play if you don't have a ticket, and you certainly can't rise to number one in the rankings of those competing for the Grand Tournament Championship leading affiliate. So that would be the person that leads the most people to winapoundofgold.com to get their Win a Pound of Gold raffle ticket and a chance to win my gold. Now, if you do this, and you start racking up affiliates, every time someone becomes one of your affiliates, then that increases your chance of them spreading the word and more people coming into the contest and us getting closer. Wouldn't it be amazing if on next Wednesday or so, or a week from today, we're talking about, well, you know, we didn't even think we were going to get to 1,000, but here we are. We're already at 5,000. So the goal is actually within sight. But it's not going to happen without dozens and hundreds of people that never participated in a Golden Truth ticket contest or raffle drawing, and this is our seventh. If you don't decide that you're going to participate, then we pretty much know what the outcome is going to be because we know our audience, our Mike Churchill audience very well. So I'm inviting all of you to participate. Get your ticket, get involved, get excited about it. It's fun knowing that you're aiding and assisting the work that goes on here and that Steve does at Sensus Fidelium. And we both run nonprofits. So those are the beneficiaries. So get your ticket at winapoundofgold.com. Winapoundofgold.com. I was looking during the timeout at the events that are going on for the 250th. And again, this is at the Washington.org, which is basically the District of Columbia site. And then I'm looking at some of these and I'm going, okay, next Monday, June the 29th, is Maha Monday. Everyday Health and Well-Being. Tuesday is Future of America. Future of America, Innovation, Technology, and Progress. Wednesday is Faith, Values, and Inspiration. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Thursday, July 2nd, the date that we're going to pull a raffle ticket out of that hopper, is Horsepower of America, celebrating the engines, the muscle, and the spirit that keeps the nation moving forward. Friday is Wings of Freedom, transforming imagination into lifting discipline. And I'm just going through these because I hadn't seen them before. Saturday is Independence Day, obviously. July the 5th is Heritage and Legacy. So there are events that are planned afterwards. But again, I played you the clip of what President Trump sounded like on November the 7th, 2024. Does what you're seeing and what I'm talking about right here sound like the grand celebration of 250 years? What it sounds like to me, and what I think that most the prevailing point of view is over it, is that not so much, and that it's almost like we're back in the Carter days. What an irony! Because I was one of the people who was telling you, vote for to vote and support Trump. And Trump would bring an end to the second Carter administration, which was the Biden regime. Well, how wrong we were. So we will be very happy to celebrate and walk you through all the events from now. Today is the 23rd until July the 2nd, because we won't be on the 3rd, and the 4th is a Saturday, obviously. There will be some special programming on. We'll do some Road to Independence and Pages of Independence stuff here that only we can do on the Ethics and Broadcasting Network. We'll do all that. Poop's starting to get real. In 2 days, on June the 25th, would be the first day that anyone outside of Thomas Jefferson ever saw what ultimately would become the Declaration of Independence. It's in my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. You can get it on a 2-DVD set at shop.mikechurch.com. And the scene is recreated with the four people that are, the two people that are in attendance. 2 days later, on the 27th, there are the entire committee of 5 is there to review Jefferson's draft after Adams and Franklin have made some suggestions. So some exciting actual history is coming up, and we'll work it into the program. I was not the only one yesterday asking the question out loud of why in the hell is Jared Kushner still negotiating, ostensibly now on behalf of all of America's farmers? Under what authority? I wish someone would ask Caroline Levitt that question. Can you tell us under what authority Jared Kushner is in negotiations, acting as though he is a part of the State Department or some special envoy, which historically speaking have all had to be confirmed by the United States Senate? Where's Jared's confirmation application? Where's Steve Witkoff's? This is a joke that this is even continuing. So you know what? I took a little time yesterday, and I wrote a Substack about it. It's called Jared Kushner's Iran Follies. Only an officer of the United States can negotiate on her behalf, and Jared Kushner is at best a jester. So why is this still happening? You know, J.D. Vance hadn't even gotten up in the air after leaving Lake Lucerne yesterday before the Iranians, who were watching apparently what he said about sanctioned money that has been confiscated, being released so that Iranians can buy crappy American wheat, crappy American soy, and crappy American corn, and then I guess ostensibly have it shipped across the ocean so that they can partake of it. Why can't they just get wheat from the Ukrainians or the Russians? And in any event, the Iranians come out and go like, we didn't agree to that. Who told you that? Now, if you go back and watch the tape, because I went back and watched it, to me, it's pretty clear that Vance basically says that Kushner told him. And that Kushner, and Vance even said, and Jared Kushner's even had made this deal. No, they don't even pretend to say special envoy Kushner, special assignment to the president, Ambassador Kushner, or Witkoff. No designation, no title whatsoever. Well, if you want to know what the founding fathers or what the framers of the Constitution thought about the advise and dissent and advice and consent clause, is what it's called. The earliest work that was ever published on the plain meaning of all of the clauses in the U.S. Constitution, outside the Federalist and then the ratification debates, was St. George Tucker's book that he wrote on the U.S. Constitution. If you follow Brian McClanahan, for example, on X, McClanahan references it often. I have a copy of the book in my library. I don't have it with me. It's very lengthy and it's very, very detailed. And he has a very long explanation of the advice and consent clause. And the conclusion that he basically comes to at the end of the 2 pages on the advice and consent clause is that the framers of the Constitution intended that while the president has the power, he can't do it unilaterally. And it's not as though that the Senate could say, hey, Lama, how about a little something for the effort here? The Senate can't basically say, hey, well, we think that such and such, and that James Carville ought to be special envoy to Iran and to the Lake Lucerne, and so we're going to send him over to you to appoint. So that's not the way it's ever worked. Do you know? Now this is interesting. I'll be your best friend if you can tell me who was the last person not appointed as an ambassador, but serving in the capacity of an ambassador without Senate confirmation. Anybody know? And I'll give you a hint. You all know it. Some of you will remember this. And I was, tell you the truth, I had forgotten. Who was the last person? Your time starts now, Roger. Best of luck. The Jeopardy question is, who was the last person not confirmed by the Senate that served as an American ambassador? All right, let's go to our contestants and see. Did anybody guess? Again, I'm not in the chat room, so I don't know. John Bauman Bolton. George W. Bush nominated him as ambassador for the United States to the UN. You know, y'all don't remember what a controversy this was? Because he was the ultimate war hawk, neocon, Decepticon. And the Senate, which was in Democrat hands at that time, went, nope, not even going to have a hearing on it. He's not getting confirmed. And so Bush basically waited until the Senate kind of went into recess and then made Bolton basically a recess appointment, which is so rarely has this happened. You have to go all the way back, because I did this. You have to go all the way back to 1913 and the presidency of Woodrow Wilson to find any other consul, minister, or ambassador of the United States in any way, shape, or form or capacity that was not confirmed by the United States Senate. So from 1913, from 1789 to 1913, there was none. There were this many.
0.0.
In 1913, there was one. And then from 1913 to 2005, there were
0.0.
In 2004, there were none. And 2005, there was one. And from 2006 then to 2025, there have been none. Obama didn't even try that.
0.
So why is Trump doing it with Kushner and Witkoff? And why isn't anybody else talking about it? Because the Uniparty is not the Uniparty. The Uniparty is the super party, which is also the stupid party. And quite frankly, it just doesn't care what any of us think. It has lost the capacity now to even feign that there is some sort of, oh, my constituents want me to do what? Oh, I campaign on this and I should do this. There's not even a head fake towards this any longer. Interestingly enough, remember 3 weeks ago, I told you that I had gone to the Secretary of State's office of the state of Louisiana and had changed my voter registration. I registered to vote in the summer of 1980 so I could vote for my then hero, political hero. I was 18 years old, Ronald Wilson Reagan. Perhaps you've heard of him. So I registered to vote. I registered as a Republican because I was going to vote for Reagan, and I did. And I have remained a registered Republican in the state of Louisiana up until 3 weeks ago when I wrote the Secretary of State, went and filled the form out, and then changed my voter registration from Republican to no party affiliation. So I actually had the document. If you look me up in the SOS office, and there's a way you can look voters up, if you look me up, you will now see no party affiliation. Now, that means I can't vote in Republican primaries anymore. Quite frankly, I don't care. Did you see yesterday, Mrs. O'Connell, greatest radio producer in the history of radio producers, did you see that apparently Tucker Carlson has done the same thing and has actually gone and changed his voter registration and says, I won't do it anymore. I am not going to support the stupid part any longer. Now, before people go like, see, I told you the Republicans were going to all the way down. Look, both parties are in big trouble, which is why I think the 250th ought to be a celebration of secede, and secession in general. Because that's what happened, and I believe that that's what needs to happen again. We are so far beyond, so far beyond effecting a repair. Hey, can you pass the crescent wrench over? No, I think you're going to need more than a crescent wrench, bruh. I think you're going to need a crescent wrench. You're going to need a set of metric sockets, a set of imperial sockets. You're going to need a torque wrench. You're going to need an acetylene torch. You're going to need a welding machine. You're going to need a ginormous wrecking ball. Let me throw another one in that we're going to talk about during the course of the program. It was revealed yesterday by Bishop Robert Barron in a recent interview, Archbishop Vincenzo Paglia, former Grand Chancellor of the John Paul II Institute on Marriage and Family Life, confirmed the worst suspicions that many of us had. He admitted that the changes he made at the Institute during the Pope Francis years were designed to initiate a very profound, his words, reform of the idea of the natural law. Instead of absolute moral norms grounded in a keen understanding of the basic goods, he and his colleagues were proposing a moral theory rooted in historical discernment of subjective and cultural experiences. Not in armchair theology, but one operating within history and within people's lives. Those are all quotes. This, of course, is the language of trendy postmodernism, and it is dangerous indeed. This means that all of us were right. So when we were saying what sounds to us, it sounds to me like what they're trying to do is normalize homosexuality and other perversions and make it so that, married outside of wedlock, having sex, jumping from partner to partner, that's okay. Homosexual? That's okay. Trisexual? That's okay. Transsexual? That's a cultural thing. It's fine. The church has to teach on it. We're just going to teach that it's acceptable, and it's within the natural law now. But wait a minute, there's a problem. You can't be within the natural law. The natural law comes from students, class. Did you finish my sentence for me? Good Mike Church Show listeners would know that natural law is subjective or is subjected to, come on, say it, supernatural law. And where do we get supernatural law from? You get it from me. I am he, said God. They were planning. The Lavender Mafia had invaded inside that office, and they were planning it. You know, when Judy Brown quit the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, the Pontifical Academy of Science, I interviewed Judy Brown after that, and she basically said I could not in good conscience continue in my role there. I want to say that this was years before even Pope Francis when Judy Brown quit. That was the beginning of the revolution and of the end. Now, it's interesting to note that they actually didn't get away with it. They didn't get away with it. Maggie, are you ready to do the Golden Truth soundbite of the day? Because, you know, I got some silver that I want people to have a chance to win. About 10,000 of you. Or 5,000 of you with 2 tickets. Or 2,500 of you with 4 tickets. Or 1,000 of you with 10 tickets. That'd be $500 apiece. Here is your soundbite of the day. Hear this play back later today. And then Maggie will tell you what caller number to be. Oh, it's an oldie but goodie.
Goldfinger, he's the man with the Midas touch, a spider's touch, such a cold finger beckons you to enter his web of sin. His lies can't disguise what you feel for a golden girl.
You know, I just want to hear Dame Shirley sing. Go ahead and spin the wheel, Maggie. So here Dame Shirley Bassey, one of the greatest voices of all time, singing Goldfinger.
This can't be. It's 5 and 4. I'm doing it again. I hate this wheel.
It's a dealer's choice, dear. You can spin it as many times as you need to.
7.
Caller number 7. When you hear Dame Shirley Bassey, you know, I'm going to start it off just by chinkling my silver. And by the way, that is a real pound of Troy pound of silver right there. All right, we're going to continue with all this thrill-packed talk. When we come back, don't go away.
Make a one man weep, make a
The Crusade Channel. Talk radio the way it should be. Broadcasting live from Madisonville, Louisiana, and streaming 24/7 at crusadechannel.com. In a world more and more infiltrated with fake news, AI-generated slop, isn't it great knowing that Crusade Channel News is still researched, written, and performed by actual humans? Hey, what are you doing in here? Oh no. Get your hands off of me. You chipped my chip.
Boys, break it up. Jeez. Catch Crusade Channel News weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be.
No AI was harmed in the making of this radio content. We hope to next time.
One of my favorite books is Jim Collins' Good to Great, and lots of people have benefited from reading it, including me. But few people have read his follow-up book, How the Mighty Fall. Now, over the course of the last 18 years has been quite the feat of survival to avoid becoming one of the fallen, but survive we have. And guess what else survived? The world-famous Dude Number t-shirt, which began in 2007. Now, to kick off the relaunch of this elite membership club, we announced a brand new t-shirt design, a brand new certificate of authenticity, and access to numbers that have only recently become available. Here's Jim to tell you how to secure that Dude Number that's unique and special to you.
Just head to mikechurch.com/dude for all things Dude Number, including purchasing your 2026 version of the world-famous Dude Number t-shirt. That's mikechurch.com/dude and join America's morning show, The Mike Church Show, and the Red, White, and Dude Nation's elite membership club. That's mikechurch.com/dude.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. The first gold rush wasn't in California or in Alaska. It was in Dahlonega, Georgia in 1829 and lasted until the last gold mine closed around 1910. Now, some people say that there's still gold in them there Georgia hills. We don't know about that, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe, and he's going to give it away to one of you on July 2nd.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. Vacation sold separately.
Hi folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence. We are all here to serve the same cause, Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams, if you will please be seated.
We solemnly assure Your Majesty we not only most ardently desire the former harmony.
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723. Hey folks, Mike Church here. You know, when I was a little cheerins, I remember loving the old Dunkin' Donuts TV spot. You know, the one with the guy who got up at 3 a.m. mumbling to himself as he went out the door and then back in his front door.
Time to make the donut.
Well, fast forward 46 years and now I'm the guy waking up at 3 a.m. mumbling to myself as I go in the studio door, then back out. Time to make the radio. I made the radio. I made the radio. But I have a secret weapon the Dunkin' Donut dude didn't have. Mike Church's Capuchin Holy Roast coffee in whole bean or ground. Our fresh, aromatic, gourmet coffee is made from 100% fair trade beans, freshly imported, roasted by my friend Kyle and his daughter at the Abita Roasting Company, then delivered to you so fresh your kitchen will smell like a barista shop. Good. So, whenever you arise to take on the day and listen to the Mike Church Show, do it the Red, White, and Dude Nation way by brewing up a fresh pot of Capuchin Holy Roast or my all-new Capuchin Holy Roast New Orleans blend coffee and chicory at shop.mikechurch.com. Caller number 7, who's this?
Hey Mike, this is Bart Swar.
Bart Swar, the big winner today. Woohoo! Well, actually, Bart, it kind of stinks to be you because you can't compete for the second free ticket until tomorrow.
I know.
I'm sorry, man.
But I just wanted to make sure, I got, one of the RSTLNE calls for the first week.
You are a 7-year-long veteran RSTLNE winner, sir. So,
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do with all this?
Oh, I could use it, pay off some debts and whatnot.
Well, sounds good.
Go a long way.
All right. You too can win a pound of gold free ticket. You just got to listen all day long or go to winnypoundofgold.com. Tune in tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. for the secret gold soundbite of the day. And we'll see you next time. Get your tickets at winnypoundofgold.com.
Membership has its privileges.
American Express was right back in the 1970s. Membership has its privileges, and no membership privilege is greater to a Red, White, and Dude Nation listener than membership in the elite membership club that is the Dude Number. Here's Lee to tell you how to get yours.
That's right, King Dude. Membership does have its privileges. And when it comes to the Dude Number, applying for membership has never been easier. Just head to mikechurch.com/dude to start the membership process. Your unique and one-of-a-kind membership and all the privileges that come with it awaits you. As a member, you'll enjoy private chat groups, VIP privileges to all Mike Church show events, early access to new Dude-geared store items, and of course, your unique Dude Number.
Dude 1210 reporting all quiet on the Eastern Front.
This is Mike's favorite punching bag, Dude number 13.
Hi, this is Steve. My dude number is 2112.
Dude number 2004, proud member of the Red, White, and Dude Nation reporting for duty.
Become a part of something bigger than any talk show there is and apply for your Dude Number today at mikechurch.com/dude.
Membership has its privileges.
You want your favorite talk show shaken.
Do you expect me to talk?
Not stirred.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
The Mike Church Show Bar is serving mega martinis with non-DEI vermouth and a red, white, and Dude Nation olive. And it's always happy hour.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the war in the Persian Gulf. Big doings in the Persian Gulf. You know my favorite part of that war? It's the first war we ever had that was on every channel plus cable. And the war got good ratings, too, didn't it? Got good ratings. Well, we like war. We like war. We're a warlike people. We like war because we're good at it. And you know why we're good at it? Because we get a lot of practice. This country's only 200 years old, and already we've had 10 major wars. We average a major war every 20 years in this country, so we're good at it. And it's a good thing we are. We're not very good at anything else anymore. Huh? Can't build a decent car, can't make a TV set or a VCR worth of Got no steel industry left, can't educate our young people, can't get health care to our old people, but we can bomb the shit out of your country, all right? Huh? We can bomb the shit out of your country, all right? Especially if your country is full of brown people. Oh, we like that, don't we? That's our hobby. That's our new job in the world, bombing brown people. Iraq, Panama, Grenada, Libya, you got some brown people in your country. Tell them to watch the f*** out, or we'll goddamn bomb them. Well, when's the last white people you can remember that we bombed? Can you remember the last white? Can you remember any white people we've ever bombed? The Germans, those are the only ones, and that's only because they were trying to cut in on our action. They wanted to dominate the world. Bullshit. That's our f***ing job.
When your world is full of strange arrangements and gravity won't pull you through, you know you're missing out on something. Well, that something depends on you. All I'm saying, it takes a lot to love you. All I'm doing, you know it's true. All I mean now is one
How you doing? Marcus Tullius Meridius Maximus Augustus here with you on a Tuesday. You're home for the 2026 Win a Pound of Gold. Drawing to be held, the raffle drawing to be held next Thursday. So, crunch time here. You know, a miracle could happen. And some influencer could discover this this raffle and go, ooh, that's really cool. I think I want to share it with my followers here. And then all of a sudden, the availability of 10,000 tickets or 90 through 200 and change goes down to
0.0.
What did happen to you? You all want a chance, and I know you all want to support the Crusade Radio Guild and the Ethics of Broadcasting Network and the Mike Church Show. So why wait? Why not go get your 10 tickets you know you're going to buy next Wednesday at 10 p.m.? Why don't you do that today? Wouldn't that be fun? It'd be fun for us. We'd love it. And that would be at winapoundofgold.com. Winapoundofgold.com. Play the Tucker Carlson soundbite. You said you had it, Maggie. I do. Digital media file number 8 here. I think we're in the same camp here. By the way, Tucker interviewed a theologian of sorts. I only saw a clip of it, and I didn't recognize the guy, but some of you did. And he was talking about Zionism. And in the cliff notes that I saw the Schofield Bible. So I think whoever it was probably was going the right direction. Just want to remind you, if you are a Dude Nation member, meaning you went to MikeChurch.com/join, and you switched from being a founding brother, a father, or a crusader, or a basic to a gold, platinum, or rhodium elite, or you just went and signed up today and join your brothers out there and sisters out there in the Red, White, and Dude Nation at MikeChurch.com/join and became a member. Gold level or higher, you have access to Brother Andre and Marie's 4-part series that I put together. And they play in sequence 1, 2, 3, and 4, the history and heresy of Christian Zionism. And there's no greater authority or better authority than Brother Andre and Marie. And that's 4 episodes of Reconquest that pretty much recount the entire history of the whole thing, what it is, and why it's a heresy, and why you shouldn't practice it. Okay, here is... all right, so Carlson has left the Republican Party. I don't know if he officially did it or not.
I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. I'm not going to support the Democratic Party. I don't know what I'm going to do. But at this point, you know, how could I or any American voter support a political party that's not loyal to the United States, that puts the interests of a foreign country above those of its own citizens? That's it's not possible to vote for people like that, and I'm not going to. And I think I voted Republican my entire life. I worked at Fox News, CNN, right. MSNBC. I've been a consistent defender for 35 years of the Republican Party. I mean, very consistent defender. But there's no defending this because it's immoral, and it's exactly the opposite of what a political party in a democracy is charged with doing, which is representing its own voters, its own citizens, its own nation, and they're not doing that. So, no, I'm out. And if I'm out, then I think a lot of other people are out.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, pal. I need to have that on my hotkey here. Welcome to the party, pal. And if you don't know, that's what was the actor's name? It's Bruce Willis that says it, but the black guy. He was on a sitcom after the Die Hard movies. What was the actor's name? I remember. He played. It's Powell in the movie, isn't it? Where the car gets thrown out of the window and it's coming towards him, and he's got to back his police cruiser up at like 60 miles an hour to get out of the way. And then Bruce Willis looks down and goes like, "You survived," or it looks like, "Oh, I'm so glad you made it." And then the cop goes, "Man, what the blah blah bleep bleepity bleep was that?" And Bruce Willis goes, "Welcome to the party, pal." Well, Tucker, welcome to the party. But I want to go a step farther because just being in opposition doesn't accomplish anything. And being the minister of outrage porn, which a lot of and I'm not saying that he is, also doesn't accomplish anything. You know, Maggie O'Connor was noting something today during our show prep. There are guys out there that have hundreds upon hundreds of thousands, if not millions, followers out there in the Twitterverse and the YouBooverse and what have you. They don't do anything differently than what we do, other than we try and actually put our ethics in broadcasting on display every day. So Maggie gets a soundbite from, what is that clown's name? Eric Doherty, who never gives attribution. Do you all know what attribution is? If you don't know what attribution is, let's pretend that we're all back in kindergarten and we're going. This is it's nursery school time, okay? Okay, students, take your seats. That goes for you too, Nick Sortor. And you, Eric Doherty. Thank you. Attribution. If you are an author, you would call it a footnote. If you are just pretending that you are relaying news and that you're some sort of journalist, then you would call it the source. You can't just run around on all these social media platforms and post this crap and these statements willy-nilly and not say where you got it from. So there is a story today. I believe I saw that you actually do have it. Here it is. This is a story that was posted without attribution. You found the story. So the greatest radio producer in the history of radio producers saw the soundbite, OMG breaking! The greatest act in the history of great acts has been passed, said Eric Doherty. The Congress is outlawed. Outfits like BlackRock buying up vast swaths of homes out from under the American Schursons out here, the American people. A good thing, I think, especially if they are supplied with foreign money. I think then it is the Congress's duty and responsibility to actually do that. Senate passes bill to lower housing costs and restrict Wall Street from buying homes. Anyone ever ask or think about the question where did the authority and the power ever come from? From basically crime syndicates buying individual single unit family homes and pretending as though they were going to be the owners of them, when in fact what they were trying to do and what they did was basically confiscate and corner the market. So one of the things that you could do with the now I'm going to get a little technical here, but that's what we do here on the Mike Church Show. So if you're a new listener, you get the benefit of this. I think there are like 5 measures of money supply. Don't call me on that. Like Dawes, John Dawes, or John Clark said of Clark and Dawes, do I need a lawyer? I feel like I'm entitled to representation. He goes, no, this is just simple questions. There's simple questions that I can handle here, because I am an economist. It's M1, M2, M3, M4, and I think there's an M5, but I know that for a fact there's an M1, M2, M3, and an M4. What do they stand for? They stand for the money supply. The M is short for money supply. M3 is where you get your inflation. So the M3 is the supply. I believe I have this right now. Again, I'm not trying to mislead anyone. I'm only going on my own infantile knowledge of financial markets. But I believe that M3 is the difference between the money that is accounted for in the current money supply and the money that is being added. In other words, it's being printed out of thin air to the money supply. And then M4, as I believe, again, is the velocity of how fast that money's coming out and being spent. Now, if you had a system that just had currency based on this, none of that would exist. That would not exist. But because we have what's called a fractional reserve banking and currency-based system here, all of this is possible. Now, what did BlackRock do during the stimmy check phenomenon that the Biden regime cursed all of us with during the Great Reset? The velocity of money being injected into the money supply went through the proverbial roof. This is what caused eggs, for example, to go to $9, $10 a dozen, and rampant, massive inflation to occur. It's the velocity of how fast the money is being injected. Well, the same thing happens in something similar like a housing market. Okay? If you want to increase the value and the purchasing cost of, say, a single-family unit home, what's one of the ways that you could do that? Well, you would, what is the law of supply and demand? So supply, when there is a glut, the price is supposed to do what? It's supposed to go down. When there is a shortage, the price is supposed to do what? It's supposed to go up. So if you want to artificially hijack, for example, say median housing income, if it were possible that you could do it outside of regular old inflation, what's one of the ways that you could do it? Well, you could purchase massive amounts of available single-family homes and remove them from the market, artificially cutting the supply down and thereby necessitating an increase in price. Now, if you had the power to do this, because you had the capital to do it, then you could make yourself a boatload of federal money in a matter of 6 months or a year, and you just get rid of all those properties you never intended to live in because the prices of all of them have gone up. Because of the velocity of the sale, and the supply went down, so the people that were selling the property, well, I should ask more money for it to have some equilibrium in the market, and that's what happened. In a nutshell, some of what happened. So should the Senate have acted, or the Congress should have acted to suppress this or to prevent it from happening? I think so. The vote was 85-5. Several senators missed the vote due to severe thunderstorms. The legislation, which would make it easier to build homes and slap limits on Wall Street investors buying up houses, now goes to the House of Representatives, which hopes to vote on it in the next few days. The 21st Century Road to Housing Act would be a desperately needed win for Republicans who have seen their 2026 midterm election prospects deteriorate throughout the year, as voters believe Trump and the GOP-controlled Congress haven't done enough to tackle the cost of living. You know why? Because they haven't. Instead of eliminating government jobs like Trump started doing, and instead of at least making a head fake towards trying to balance a budget, we're going to add another $1 trillion to military spending. We're going to have a military build-up like no one's ever seen anything like it before. Maybe because no one wanted to see anything like it. A mid-June poll by the AP found that Trump's overall approval rating is 37%, dragged down by the fact that just 33% said they approve of his handling of the economy. Now, Did anyone have this on their bingo card in January of this year? You know, I like to talk to people in terms of real life situations and real life memories and things that actually happen, not hypothetical things. Take yourself back to the night, the evening of February the 22nd. I'm going to try to play it. I can't remember back there for a while. I got to go back to February. What happened on February the 22nd, Maggie? Do you remember? Remember? Who can tell me out there in the class what happened on February 22nd? The U.S. men's hockey team beat the Canadians for the gold medal on the anniversary of the Miracle on Ice at Lake Placid, New York in 1980. You remember what it kind of felt like that evening? You're thinking that, wow, we're making America great again. Things seem to be going pretty well. The Trump administration seems to have a handle on most of what we wanted them to do. Not everything. They haven't started any stupid wars or anything dumb like that. And then, of course, the State of the Union would come up and the hockey team would go, and then the other people that were pointed out, and all is well with the world. And then that Saturday, it all comes crashing down when Netanyahu, the Zionist, and the boys show up with their plan to wipe Iran from the face of the earth and to use the American military to do it, and Trump goes along with it. The rest, as they say, now is going to be recorded history. But just think back, as this wasn't that long ago. So today's June the 23rd, so February 22nd. So to March, to April, to May, to June. That's only 4 months ago. In 4 months, we've gone from here to here. It was out of a Looney Tunes cartoon. I'll use a coin to illustrate it. Oh, look, a nice shiny MAGA coin. It's over. Wile E. Coyote is plunged off the cliff, and he's dead with MAGA scribbled across him. So the Congress finally gets one right. We got in there and our kids. Maybe let me bring this segment full circle here. So people say, you started to talk about it, you didn't finish. You're right, I did. Let's go back to the attribution. So an attribution then would be cite the source, Eric, of where you got the alleged news about the vote that was taken in Congress. It only takes an extra 30 seconds. And then when someone goes like, oh, that's where you got it from, and they can click the link, then they can go and see for themselves what the source was. Now, just for poops and giggles, hold me to account on that. Go to my Substack, thekingdude.substack.com. Go look at and read yesterday's, and under the style of Jared Kushner's Iran Follies. And note that I didn't use footnotes, I just used hyperlinks, but the three things that I referenced in the story, I linked to, including the book, St. George Tucker's book on the Constitution and the appointment and advice and consent power. Let's try to bring all this back full circle. So we started with talking about Tucker Carlson and is saying that, well, I can't in good conscience do this because they're not. You have a political party that has turned against the people of the United States. It's no longer for the American people. But Tucker, the Republican Party and the Republican caucus had already done this with Ukraine. We're $1 trillion upside down now because of what has been spent and sent and wasted in Ukraine. Now, this does predate Trump. It goes back to, it started in 2022 with Biden. The estimates vary on how much direct spending, but the Republicans were all the ones that are running around with their American and Ukraine flag pins. Remember that? When that was all the rage on social media, so they'd already turned towards a foreign government that they thought was more worthy of its love and respect and assistance, and lavished hundreds of billions of dollars on the wretched excuse for a government that is Ukraine. And it is a totally
I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. In 1971, if D.B. Cooper had jumped out of an airplane with $200,000 worth of gold instead of U.S. currency, he would have $25.4 million in gold bullion today. Now, we don't know where D.B. Cooper's money is, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd. And you don't have to jump out of an airplane to win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. D.B. Cooper and Cocaine Bear parachutes sold separately.
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Sister Maria Filomena with your Saint of the Day. June 22nd, St. Paulinus of Nola, who died in the year 431, which is the year of the Council of Ephesus. St. Paulinus was born at Bordeaux in France, of one of its noblest and wealthiest families. He was appointed, by the Roman Emperor, prefect of all France. He was an orator and a poet. In rank, he finally became a Roman senator, and then prefect of Rome. He married a Catholic Spanish girl named Teresia. She brought him into the Catholic Church, and Paulinus was baptized when he was 31 years old. The only child of Paulinus and Teresia died in infancy. After this, they both consecrated themselves to God. Teresia sold all her possessions, gave them to the poor, and became a nun. And Paulinus, under the direction of St. Ambrose of Milan and under the inspiration of St.
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Sister Maria Filomena with your Saint of the Day. June 23rd, Saint Etheldreda, or Saint Audrey. She died in the year 679. Saint Etheldreda was an East Anglian, that is a British, princess and later a queen. Driven to do so by her parents, she first married a prince named Tonbert. He permitted her to keep perfectly preserved her virginity. 3 years after their marriage, he died. Later, she was forced to marry a powerful king from Northumberland named Egfrid. Still preserving her virginal purity, after 12 years of married life, she was permitted, with her husband's consent, to become a nun. She founded a monastery on the island of Ely. 3 of her sisters are saints: Saint Sexburga, Saint Withburga, and Saint Ethelburga. The great Saint Wilfrid was one of her spiritual advisors and protectors. Saint Audrey, or Saint Etheldreda, for centuries was one of the most loved and venerated saints England ever had. She comes from England's golden age. She was not quite 50 years old when she died. Her precious body is still incorrupt. It is also the feast of Saint Joseph Cafasso, who died in 1860. Saint Joseph Cafasso was a secular priest of Turin. He was small in stature and had a deformed spine, which caused him much suffering. As a rector of the seminary, he quickly became renowned for his teaching ability and wonderful influence on young priests, telling them that worldliness was their greatest enemy. He founded the Society of Mary, later called Marianists. He spent many hours in the confessional. He accompanied over 60 men to the scaffold, and not one died impenitent. He called them his hanged holy ones. When young John Bosco first met Father Cafasso, he told his mother he had met a saint. For over 20 years, St. Joseph Cafasso was St. John Bosco's teacher and spiritual director. It was St. Joseph Cafasso who directed Don Bosco toward his apostolate of forming the youth in Turin. St. Etheldreda and St. Joseph Cafasso, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the lives of today's saints. Tomorrow's saint is St. John the Baptist on his birthday. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters and contribute to the building of our convent by visiting stphilomenaconvent.org. I'm Sister Maria Filomena, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines, plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. That's 800-313-7757.
We don't know why Trump started a war with Iran, made deals with Roundup, and got Thomas Massey canceled. But we do know there's a pound of gold in Mike Church's studio, and all you have to do to win it is listen for the golden sound of the day. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. on The Mike Church Show at MikeChurchShow.com and on YouTube at Real KingDude.
Hey, Mick. Yesterday's show wasn't enough. It's time to crack open another can of Mike Church Show whooping.
This guy just don't want to win, you know. He wants to bury you. He wants to humiliate you. He wants to prove to the whole world that it was nothing but some kind of a freak the first time out.
Hey, freaks don't hear the rocky music before they leave satellite radio.
How about a Fresca?
The Mike Church Show. Weekday mornings on the Crusade channel. King-sized truth. From radio-sized speakers.
Well, I was rolling down the road in some cold blue steel. I had a blues man on the back and a beautician out the wheel. We're going downtown in the middle of the night. We're laughing and I'm joking and we're feeling alright. Oh, I bet I'm nationwide. Yes, I bet
the radio equivalent of the last blockbuster movie rental store. The Mike Church Show stands in defiance of the demonic world of digital streaming boredom. Here on this live show on a Tuesday, welcoming all of you listening in on the network, wherever you may find yourself listening at today. You should subscribe to our YouTube channel at Real KingDude. And then for extra credit, this portion of the program brought to you by the Dude Nation Metal Member Service. So when this contest is over and we go back to normal broadcasting and go back behind the paywall, the only way that you'll be able to access this program on most days is by being a Dude Nation Metal member. So many of you are going to go like, "Oh, I started this that KingDude Mike Church Show started to wear on me." Well, it's supposed to. That's how and why radio shows, good ones, stayed on the air and have entertained, enlightened, and entertained, and educated audiences for 7 decades now. But we're not going to survive much longer without your support and without your help. Thus, the Golden Truth ticket and the raffle drawing for the pound of gold. And all of you are going to go right now and get your tickets at winnypoundofgold.com. But then you're going to double that effort and you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to join the Red, White, and Dude Nation and become a Gold Novel member. And I'm going to go to mikechurch.com/join. And I'm going to join during this segment, Mike. And I'm going to do so because I love you so much, and Maggie too, and all of our new chatting friends. So you can read my name on air at the beginning of the next segment, by gum. There ought to be a competition. I ought to have to go like, I'm going to go in alphabetical order. So many of you people signed up during this timeout. So, mikechurch.com/join. Is this you? Am I going to read your name? Good. Thanks, Buckshot. Did you hear the dog? The dog went, oh. He heavy-sided me. My mascot just heavy-sided me. The Boston Terrier just heavy-sided me. We need to have a buckshot cam. I think people would pay for a buckshot cam. Would you guys pay for a buckshot cam?
He sleeps. You'd just be watching him sleep.
I know, but sometimes you hear it. It's such a challenging life. I want to go back to something I was talking about earlier. So, okay, back to the attribution. You cite your sources. The reason you do that is because people then have confidence that the story that they're reading is legit. Secondly, let's go and talk about, okay, well, where do you leave off with if you're not going to vote Republican and you're not going to vote Democrat, what are you going to do? Well, it's a good question. It's a fair question. And I think that what we should be aware of and then what we should start working for or towards, and we should have, and we, to be fair, we have done this, is to set brush fires of new Christendom. So Samuel Adams said it's not necessary for an overwhelming vast majority of people to agitate for a change and to defend liberty and freedoms. It is just necessary to set brush fires of liberties, what he called them. Well, I'm calling them brush fires of new Christendom. Now, let me go back to what Bishop Barron was saying earlier here and finish this the story up. And we talked about this yesterday when the Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV, when he came out and made that statement at the press conference at 35,000 feet and said, well, I think there's all sorts of morals and things that need to be defended. People's freedom, men and women's freedom to do this, that, and the other. We shouldn't be concentrating and fixating and even talking about sexual morality. That's all there is to talk about, Holy Father. That literally is the morality that is part and the most important part of Catholic social moral doctrine and teaching. You know, the rest of those things that you were talking about, those all fall under the rubric, to me anyway, of ethics. Some things you wouldn't do because they're not ethical to do. That's why we're the Ethics and Broadcasting Network. The moral things, though, it is because they are abhorrent to the natural law. And again, who is the author of the natural law? That would be that they're in what is over the natural law? The supernatural law. And who is the author of the supernatural law? Well, of course, that is God. So when Bishop Barron says, instead of absolute moral norms grounded in a keen understanding of the basic goods, Archbishop Vincenzo Paglia, and his colleagues were proposing a moral theory rooted in historical discernment of subjective and cultural experiences. Not an armchair theology, but one operating within the history and within people's lives. This, of course, is the language of trendy postmodernism, and it is dangerous indeed. Allow me to illustrate the principle with one example. Is slavery wrong? And then he says, intrinsically wrong? Wrong no matter what public opinion polls say about it, no matter what the current consensus on it might be? I imagine any decent person might would answer yes, but that yes is predicated upon precisely what the tradition calls the natural law and the basic goods. There are some values so fundamental that acts repugnant to them are by their very nature wicked. If you want a highly articulate presentation on this idea, go to St. John Paul's Veritatis Splendor. That's an encyclical. St. John Paul II. If we say that this is just armchair theologizing and that morality is a function of ever-shifting cultural and experiential data, then why wouldn't slavery be justified? One of the very smartest persons that ever lived, the philosopher Aristotle, thought it was. By the way, the author of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson, thought it was okay. True story. The 56 men that signed the Declaration of Independence, most of them thought it was okay. Interestingly enough, the exceptions to that would have been Charles Carroll of Carrollton, the lone Catholic, Robert Morris, who else? Morris, Dickinson. Robert Morris, John Dickinson. There was one other that I know were Quakers, who were Quakers. And Quakers were some of the loudest agitators for the abolition of slavery and in the time leading up to the War of Northern Aggression. So if you didn't know that, that is actually a fact. But John Dickinson of Pennsylvania most certainly was an ardent opponent of slavery, of chattel, what we would call chattel slavery. Bishop Barron. Who is to say whether the consensus might shift back again? Who is to say that lived experience might come to justify it? What any truly coherent moral program requires is the very thing that Archbishop Polly and his colleagues were endeavoring to eliminate, namely absolute moral norms. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know why they were doing this. There is a Lavender Mafia reason why they were doing this. I say why they were. I'm sure they still are. You know, this synodal on synod on synod garbage that's coming up here. I'm pretty sure that this will be an attempt, at least by some of those in attendance, and maybe even tacitly by the Holy Father himself, to basically try and make Catholic social moral teaching when it comes to sexual morality subject to the current acceptable, quote, norms, close quote, of the day. That will be an unmitigated disaster for Christ and his church, and therefore I do not believe that the Holy Ghost will allow them to do it. You must also believe and pray with me that the Holy Ghost will not allow. Our Lord himself told us, you are Cephas, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. You must believe, because we were told by the incarnate wisdom himself that the gates of hell will not prevail against it. So, I don't know how it will be prevented, but I believe that it will. And I'm going to hope that it will. Now, this is all because Archbishop Polly gave an interview and went, yeah, okay, I'm basically confessing that we tried to do this, and it was an intentional thing. Now, they didn't get into the details, but we can all figure out what departing from natural law on sexual morality is. It's homos. You know it, and I know it. And then Bishop Barron says, ridding ourselves of these in the name of freedom or pastoral sensitivity actually renders moral discourse dysfunctional, just as relativizing the basic principle of logic would render any rational conversation impossible. The Archbishop's interview, frankly, reminded me of the discussions I had at the Synod on Synodality with some of my German colleagues. Under the rubric of the development of doctrine, they were eager to relativize or radically change the principles undergirding classical morality. If this was and is truly the game, we have ventured onto perilous seas, says Bishop Robert Barron. Well, I would go one further and say that you're not on perilous seas, Your Excellency. You are in the midst of a typhoon on already perilous seas. There's a storm surrounding you. You're in the eye of it. Can you get out? How do you get out of this? You know, in every epoch in the history of Christianity, there has been, whether we want to admit it or not, there have always been heretics. Folks, Catholic folks out there, my friends, there just always have been. Stop with this one. It wasn't like during the days of St. Thomas Aquinas. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. There absolutely were heretics in the 13th century, and in the 12th, and in the 11th, and in the 10th, and in the 14th. The difference was, look, many of you, when it comes to sexual morality, love to run around and quote from a book called the Book of Sodom. I used to say Rodham for Hillary. The Book of Rodham and Gomorrah by St. Peter Damian. You want to tell me what century that was? You want to remind me what century that was? And what was Sodom and Gomorrah, right? You know, somebody handed me a translation. I think it was Ryan Grant 10, 12 years ago, handed me a translation. I think he translated it. No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. A translation of Sodom and Gomorrah, the book, which was basically a series of letters that Damien, the priest, was writing to the Holy Father, going like, do you know that this is going on here? And by the way, your children cannot read some of these letters. Maybe they may shock you, because St. Peter Damian actually describes in pretty vivid detail what sex acts these priests, these nuns, and these brothers are performing on each other. So, please, dispense with the prideful proclamation, the church has never had to confront this before. Yes, it has. And you might note that it successfully confronted it. It didn't just confront it, it successfully confronted it. Just like it successfully confronted simony, when the Borgias and the others were running around selling indulgences and whatnot. It confronted that. So this view here, this myopic and dystopian view that somehow we're going to be the first Catholics that are going to suffer and are going to live without the benefits of the sacraments because the church is going to be dissolved. Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back? Don't think like that. It's a problem. Hashtag pray harder and make sure it doesn't creep into your life. And that's probably the best that you and I as lay people can do. All right, 844-527-8723. Has anyone gone to mikechurch.com/join and enter their digits and stuff so that I can announce them as a new Founders Pass member? And more than one do it, so I have to go alphabetically? What else do we have going on here today? And I know that there's more to talk about with Bishop Aaron is pointing out here. What's that?
In your signal, since we're on the topic of German bishops.
Oh, hold on. Oh, that is so small. I can't read that.
Basically.
Okay, it blew up.
Yeah, basically, it's the Vatican has rejected the German bishop's request for lay people to preach at Mass.
Oh, okay. So this is breaking.
Yep, they just released it this morning.
You know, this may be the second opportunity that I have here to. You've heard it once. It's not a drill.
Warning, warning, Catholic doctrine approaching. Proceed immediately to a truth-resistant shelter. This is not a drill.
All right, this is a letter from press release, actually, 23 June 2026, moments ago, in a letter dated 17 June 2026, addressed to the president of the German Bishops' Conference, Bishop Dr. Heiner Wilmar, SCJ, the Dicastery for Divine Worship and the Discipline of the Sacraments. has communicated that it is not possible to grant the indult requested on 30 March 2026 to permit, in exceptional circumstances, a duly commissioned lay member of the faithful to preach in place of the homily during the celebration of the Eucharist. While expressing appreciation for the pastoral concerns that inspire the request, the dicastery reaffirms that the current discipline cannot be dispensed from by means of an indult, since the reservation of the homily to a priest or deacon is not merely disciplinary norm, but derives from the very nature of the liturgy. Wow, that's pretty well said, isn't it? The homily forms an integral part of the liturgy of the word, is intrinsically linked to the proclamation of the gospel, and constitutes an exercise of the, is that munus? Yep. Munus docendi, entrusted to ordained ministers through the sacrament of holy orders. The proclamation of the word within the liturgical celebration is inseparable from the mission received sacramentally and from the unity that binds together word and sacrament in the Eucharistic celebration. You know, if I really wanted to read this and parse this, I could say a couple of other things that are also present in the new form of the Mass that lay people shouldn't be doing. Like reading Gospels. I mean, like reading epistles. The, what do they call it? The responsorial psalm that has been added. Not saying that because the epistle obviously is part of the Mass, but the responsorial psalm thing was added, and it's always done by a lay person. But it's done in the character where they kind of look like they're supposed to be official, if you will. So how is that licit and permissible? This is me thinking out loud now. This is not me pronouncing on anything. It's just me going like, well, I bet the conversation's going on in the chat room right now. Well, then, can you explain ECMHs to us then? The letter also emphasizes the importance of promoting the ongoing formulation of ordained ministers so that the homily may fully express in pastoral its pastoral and spiritual effectiveness. Finally, the dicastery recalls that the church's current discipline already provides for numerous forms of proclaiming the word and preaching that may be entrusted. Okay, so the last paragraph, they covered what I said. Has already been entrusted to lay members of the faithful outside the homily and outside the celebration of the Eucharist in accordance with the canon law and proper nature of these different forms of proclaiming the gospel. 6 forward steps, 6 back.
You get home to a darkened house, you turn on the lights. When you go out into the fallen, darkened world that most of America has become, turn on the Mike Church Show.
Hey folks, Mike Church here.
And let the Red, White, and Dude Nation light the way for you.
Hey, we guarantee it works a lot better than that little Levite lightning bug, Ben Shapiro.
5 sentence boys younger than you is the gas chamber.
Hop into your guilt-free ride into MAGACon-free conservatism.
On the Mike Church Show.
Hi folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence.
The revolution was on. We must note that at this early juncture of American self-government, that the Congress recognized the sovereignty of the individual states and recommended, not ordered them, to form governments. This is the framework that the revolutionary generation would build the Constitution on, a republic.
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD. And by calling 844-527-8723.
You're listening to the Crusade Channel, a Black Hat Studios media property, broadcasting live 24/7 from Madisonville, Louisiana, and to the world via crusadechannel.com. This June, the Mike Church Show will give away the most incredible prize in broadcast history and change the way the world thinks about talk media and talk media hosts forever. Mike Church Show News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different, like a symphony of facts.
And now, here's Janet Huxley.
Hello, Red, White, and Dude Nation. Welcome to Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2026. I'm Janet Huxley at the Mike Church Show News Desk, live from the ranch in Kansas City. This report is brought to you by the Golden Truth Ticket Sweepstakes. Get your Gold Fruit tickets today at winapoundofgold.com. Here's what to listen for this hour. U.S. and Iran wrap second day of Switzerland talks. Judge blocks Trump administration from using immigration database for voter roll verification. Judge also blocks DOJ subpoenas aimed at Minnesota Governor Walz and other officials. Investigators say they haven't given up on the Nancy Guthrie disappearance case, and conservative grassroots protests against data centers may not be what you think. President Donald Trump said yesterday the United States maintains control of the Strait of Hormuz and suggested the blockade could be reinstated within 30 minutes if needed. As long as they respect us, we are not going to have any trouble, Trump said of the Iranian regime before stating, "We have total control of the strait." Turning to the new mechanism established under the new framework agreement, Trump discussed the impact of the blockade that was lifted on June the 17th. "I think the blockade was more impactful than dropping bombs, if you want to know the truth," he said. The results of the latest negotiations include measures to prevent incidents and miscommunication in the Strait of Hormuz, as well as the creation of a de-confliction cell to help enforce the U.S.-Iran ceasefire agreement across all fronts, including Lebanon. A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's use of an immigration database for purging non-citizens from state voter rolls, saying it violated the privacy rights of American citizens. Judge Sparkle Suknanen of the District Court of the District of Columbia yesterday said the administration's use of restructured Department of Homeland Security database violated several privacy laws in disclosing Americans' social security numbers, citizenship status, and other sensitive data. All in all, the federal government has knowingly trampled on the privacy rights of American citizens in a manner that threatens the sacred right to vote, Suknanen wrote in her 75-page decision. A federal judge has quashed 6 DOJ grand jury subpoenas issued to Minnesota officials and concluded they were part of an unconstitutional effort to pressure state and local leaders into assisting the Trump administration's immigration enforcement efforts. U.S. District Judge Patrick J. Schultz ruled on June the 17th, subpoenas served on the offices of Governor Tim Walz, Minneapolis and St. Paul Mayor's Office, Minnesota Attorney General's Office, and the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners and Hennepin County Board of Commissioners, initiating a criminal investigation in order to harass political opponents or to coerce them into taking official action, particularly official action that the federal government cannot directly require those political opponents to take, is blatantly unlawful and unethical use of
About piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. In 1971, if D.B. Cooper had jumped out of an airplane with $200,000 worth of gold instead of U.S. currency, he would have $25.4 million in gold bullion today. Now, we don't know where D.B. Cooper's money is, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd. And you don't have to jump out of an airplane to win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. D.B. Cooper and Cocaine Bear parachutes sold separately.
Caller number 7, who's this?
Hey, Mike, this is Bart Swar.
Bart Swar, the big winner today. Woohoo! Well, actually, Bart, it kind of stinks to be you because you can't compete for the second free ticket until tomorrow.
I know.
I'm sorry, man.
But I just wanted to make sure, I got, one of the RSTL and an E calls for the first week.
You are a 7-year-long veteran RSTL and an E winner, sir. So,
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do with all this?
Oh, I could use it, pay off some debts and whatnot.
Well, sounds good.
Go a long way.
All right. You too can win a pound of gold free ticket. You just got to listen all day long or go to winniepoundofgold.com. Tune in tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. for the secret gold soundbite of the day. And we'll see you next time. Get your tickets at winniepoundofgold.com.
Call 844-527-8723. Holding a PhD for the KingDude Center for Constitutional Studies is not just an honor, it's a way of life. The Mike Church Show is heard exclusively on the Red, White, and Dude Nation.
I order you to be quiet.
Oh, who does he think he is?
I'm your king.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote for kings.
Well, how'd you become king, then?
The Lady of the Lake. her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signifying by divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur. That is why I'm your king. Listen, strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. Be quiet! Oh, but you can't expect to wield supreme executive power just because some watery tart threw a sword at you. Shut up! I mean, if I went round saying I was an emperor just because some moistened bint had lobbed a scimitar at me, they'd put me away. Shut up! Will you shut up? Ah, now we see the violence inherent in the system. Shut up! Oh, come and see the violence inherent in the system. Help! Help! I'm being repressed.
I tell you, I never seen dead people chat. I tell you, I never seen dead people listen. All right, there is an RSTLNNE on the Clinton News Network. Since they refuse to be brainwashed and even to have the algorithm being pumped into my brain from FAUX, fake Fox News, I turned over to CNN, and I've been watching CNN since the night they canned Massey. All the neocon, Decepticon, atheist, Satanist wackos masquerading around as conservatives at fake FAUX, fake Fox News. And I've been watching CNN. Let me tell you what CNN's MO is. Whatever the story is, if it has President Trump in it, you're going to find two words in almost every one of their stories. So there's some subtle brainwashing going on the Clinton News Network as well. You know what the two words are? Without evidence. Trump claims without evidence that vandals vandalize reflecting pool. I'm pretty sure that anyone that has ever owned a above ground or even an in-ground pool, one of the ones that they dig the hole and it's not a gunite pool where they drop in just the giant bathtub basically, or giant hot tub. Those things have liners. Anyone that has ever had one, I'm sure could tell you that you shouldn't be running around in one of those pools with a butcher knife or anything, or swimming or scuba diving in your pool with a butcher knife and seeing whether or not the liner is sturdy or not. Those liners are pretty sturdy. And in order to sever one like that, you would have to have some kind of a sharp object that would not only penetrate it, but would go all the way through it. Now, if you're talking to somebody, a cut that they're saying the National Guard, the Park Service is now saying 350 feet. Knife blades don't naturally sharpen themselves. You're cutting some thick polyurethane like that, or polyvinyl, or whatever it was, and if your blade is pushing up against the concrete barrier that holds it, Over the course of a couple of feet, you're going to get a dull blade. I don't know, because I don't know what they use to cut it. And I also don't know how severe the tear is in the lining. Did it go all the way through it or just puncture it? But I'm pretty sure that you couldn't go 350 feet on one blade.
So it's my understanding that they put a sealant, right? They rolled on a sealant, and then they rolled over the top of the sealant some bright blue, like flag blue, rubber type thing on top of that. Okay, so that's the
almost
actual,
like a truck bed liner.
Correct, something like that. So it could have been that someone maybe scraped it and it started pulling up, but 350 feet, I don't think someone took a blade and went all that length. And I also think that maybe the chemicals and stuff that they've been pouring into that might have a little bit to do with that pulling up as well. If like, you see what I'm saying? The original slit and all the chemicals just made it all just easier to come up.
It costs $18 million. That's a lot of money. We're going to have a beautiful reflecting pool. They built one at Mar-a-Lago and at Doral. I know how to do it, okay? The Fed chairman is a loser. He spent all that money for nothing. Play the clip of him saying that it was vandalism. Number 4. And I just wonder, okay, go ahead and play the clip.
Guard and police have been all over the mall. How would these vandals have gotten so close to do something like that?
Do you have any proof of this? I mean, we didn't have a lot of them then. Who would think that somebody would go into a pool and take a knife and start cutting it? But do you have proof of that? Yeah, we have proof. Photos or videos? Well, let's put it this way. When you have a 350, I think it's 350, not 250, a 350-foot slit from one end to the other, you think that's proof? You think that's proof? Reporters have been down there today looking for that slit that you mentioned, and Well, there's no evidence of all it. you'd have to do is see the Parks Department. They'll show it to you. Or see the secretary. But I saw it. They cut it. They cut it very violently. The same thing with the floor. They cut it. And then they lifted it. They pulled it. And that's what it is.
And then they lifted it and they pulled it, and that's what it is. Now, again, if something is that long, that to me suggests foul play. And that this was obviously intended to. Who knows what it was intended to do? Now, wait a minute. So Caroline Levitt is. So I guess she's off maternity leave? She's back? She back.
Well, she was doing an interview yesterday. So she's
Okay, so this is an interview.
back. She's coming back this week.
Okay, so I guess Caroline Levitt is X'd about it because Tampon Tim Waltz is out there saying, well, this is not a... You know, Trump's not wrong about everything because he's wrong about Iran. And the things that he was correct about before, he went crazy and turned the United States into, or turned Israel into the 51st state and annexed them. He's still right about them. And I still think that his practical experience in constructing things and building things and real estate and what have you is still pretty good. And if he thinks that there was vandalism, or if he thinks that somebody did that intentionally, that he's probably correct about that. Rug Piers did not do this, man. So, Caroline Levitt, on the same question.
The vandalism is very real, despite what Tim Walz wants to say. It's an imaginary problem. No, it is not. It's a very real problem. In fact, I spoke with the National Park Service just before joining the show. They now have 17 police reports that have been filed in just a matter of a few days. There's actually been 6 arrests at the reflecting pool, where, again, these deranged individuals, many of them longtime donors to the Democrat Party, to Barack Obama, to Act Blue, that have been vandalizing and desecrating our federal monument, one of the most beautiful monuments in the world, the reflecting pool. And that's why President Trump is not going to stop with this effort. We're going to not only hold those people accountable, but we're going to fix the pool, continue to make it beautiful from this despicable vandalism just in time to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday next week.
So I'm just, Like Maggie was saying during the time out to me, these people are crazy.
They are crazy.
These people are nuts. NVTS nuts. We've been dealing with leftards. Oh, we've been dealing with leftards since Judas. Let's be honest. These are the same type of people that back in the 1990s were walking up to wealthy, very well cared for, very well made up and pampered women who had just happened to be wearing minks or foxes or whatever other exotic fur coats, have walked up to them with gallons of goat and pig and cow urine and thrown it on them. And blood. These are the same lunatics that tried to deface the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. These are the same wackos. And thank the Lord that the curators of these museums are now putting fakes out. Tried to deface a copy of Emanuel Lewitz's phenomenal painting of Washington's Crossing at the Met in New York. These are the same wackos. You know, the guards at the Louvre aren't as, because they're French. They're French. Aren't as stoic as the guards at the Uffizi in Florence, Italy. The guards at the Uffizi apparently are they're like Mossad agents. They're on the lookout for lunatics. Don't forget this. I can't show this to you because it won't show on the screen, but you should get you one of these. This is a Mike Church Show commemorative 35th anniversary commemorative T-shirt. And it won't show on the screen because the green screen is going to zap it out. But if I hold it in front of me, then I think the green screen can still get it. But in any event, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been covering this, and I have been checking my sources and staying well informed for years before that I began in this in 1992. And let me tell you something. I'm old enough to remember, and I've been doing this long enough to remember, that, what's his name? Because he got religion, and he stopped being a wacko. Well, one of them is Michael Schellenberg, who was a member of Greenpeace. He's not any longer. And then I'm trying to remember the guy who was the founder of Greenpeace, and he has turned completely against them because they're lunatics. You know, these people vandalize and destroy private properties. These wackos that go and chain themselves to the fences of power plants and nuclear power facilities and all that. Am I the only one that remembers these people are crazy? These are the same wackos that threw themselves in front of police cars in Minneapolis, and one of them got shot in the head as a result of it. So the idea here that there aren't crazy enough people out there to deface the skin of the reflecting pool is just stupid. Of course there are. They probably had hundreds of volunteers at the meeting where they planned it out. These people, boy, I tell you what. And then okay, so how could you fix this? Well, the first thing you got to do is figure out how to drain it. And I know because I've been seeing file footage of a drain. There's got to be a drain at one end. I think there's a drain at one end of it, or several drains. First thing you got to do is drain it. Then you got to go and identify where the leak is. Of course, you got to fix that, or where the lining or whatever it was that they put down was damaged. And then the third thing that you would have to do, you got to get the algae off. So you're going to have to get a crew out there with pressure washers, and a crew of, I'd imagine, hundreds of people out there. And if you have all those pressure washers in the same vicinity, you know, you can't be standing in carbon monoxide. So I'd imagine it'd take a little bit of time to pressure wash to get all the algae off, and you got to rinse it, and then you got to refill it. That is a large body of water to pump water back into. Now, do you have enough days to do it before July the 4th weekend? I don't know. Maybe you do. But no one should be cheering this on or think that this is a good idea or think that Trump's out there lying again. I'm gonna be with Trump on this one. That it was lunatics that did this, wackos. Let us go to the telephones at 844-527-8723. Joe Beeman is first up here today on the Mike Church Show. Brother Beeman, what can I do for you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am well. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. So I've watched this whole reflecting pool thing for 2 days. So have you been to reflecting pool? I know you
I have.
To DC.
I have.
It's just so you realize, like I do, it's just an oversized gunite pool, and a gunite pool is nothing more than a cement pool, right? So what they did is they're talking about. There's no liner on it. It's simply they drained it down, and it's the paint. It's a epoxy paint that they go in, just like in swimming pools every so often. They drain them and they paint it on. So even if you took a knife and you scratched it or did anything to it, it wouldn't do anything to the pool. What's causing this is the algae bloom. It's an oversized swimming pool, and usually in the summer when you go down there, you'll see all kind of homeless people and lunatics in there walking around and kids swimming and in the dang reflecting pool. It's kind of disrespectful in my opinion, but I've seen it most of my life. We used to go down there as a kid all the time.
Okay.
I used to live right across in Maryland side in Waldorf, so we'd take the metro down and we'd have a picnic down there and watch all the people. But I could fix the problem in 24 hours for them, and it wouldn't cost them how many millions of dollars they're about to spend.
How are you going to fix it?
You got to treat it like a swimming pool. I have one in my backyard now. So one of the things they do not do to that pool, they do not filter the reflecting pond. They don't have no filtering system, and they have no chlorinating system.
Right.
You have to. If they treat it like a swimming pool, you shock the living snot out of it. So you dump. You have to figure out how many gallons of water in it. I don't know. I'm sure somebody has if you can get the actual size of it and figure out how deep it is, you can figure out the how many gallons.
You need a pH
based
test.
on how many. Do what, sir?
You need a pH test.
Yeah, you can do. It's a pull strip. I have a bunch of them right here.
You take a pull strip. You do a pH test. You go, okay, I need 400,000 gallons of muriatic acid.
Correct, or bleach. Chlorine is bleach, so you would shock the living snot out of it, which is heavy bleach, and then as you circulating, and the next day, then you take your chlorine, your test, which has pH, alkalinity. You would treat to whatever the level needs to be, and in 48 hours you have crystal clear water, and no problem. What caused it is the algae bloom. What caused the algae bloom is that we're having such a swing in weather right now. Like 2 days ago over Father's Day weekend, it was 90 degrees here. My kids are outside swimming in the pool. It's now 62 degrees, and it's been that way for the last 2 days. We have had these huge back and forth of the weather, which anytime there's organic material in the air and algae, and they're pumping water. The other thing they do is when it gets low, they pump water out of Potomac River into that reflecting pond. Which if you do, that's where the water comes from. They cost all the stuff that's in that river.
Well, so the
it
Potomac
already has organic material in it.
Well, that's not all it has in it.
Well, you know what else is in it. They used to say don't eat anything out of the rivers.
Well, okay, so again, I'm just going on with the president said he'd given him the benefit of the doubt if he said there was vandalism, but no, before any knowledge of that or before anyone had said that, because they were saying vandalism, but they weren't describing it yesterday. What did I say? I'm just saying, let me give you the foolproof way that you can keep this thing pretty much algae and other critter clean. Well, if you're going to put Potomac River in there, well, then put fish in it. You put algae-eating fish in it. There are fish that actually, all right, anyone that has a pond in their backyard that has goldfish in it and has had to maintain it and has had to fight this problem knows what I'm talking about. Like my next door neighbor, Don. Don fought that thing for about 2 summers. He fought it. And it was a mosquito incubator, and then it was an algae incubator. And then he finally found the right combination of carp and whatever other kind of fish, and now it's good to go, even with rainfall that he can't predict. So there is a way to kind of naturally manage that. And what I was saying is, well, why didn't they just ask the Park Service, what to put in it so that, you have a natural process. That way you don't have to add chemical to it. Joe, I'm glad you called, buddy, but I'm out of time. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, buddy.
God bless, buddy.
All right. Folks, we'll be back with our final segment of the day. I've not played the Golden Truth Ticket soundbite of the day. Could play it at any moment now. But in the meantime, you can go and get your ticket to win my gold, your raffle ticket to get my gold or raffle tickets at winapoundofgold.com.
We don't know where the Ark of the Covenant is, but we do know that Mike Church will give you a chance to win his pound of gold. And all you have to do is listen for the golden sound of the day, weekday mornings at 6 a.m. on The Mike Church Show at MikeChurchShow.com and on YouTube at Real King Dude.
Hello, Red, White, and Dude Nation. I'm Janet Huxley at the Mike Church Show News Desk with your crucials for Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2026. This report is brought to you by the Golden Truth Ticket Sweepstakes. Get your gold fruit tickets today at winapoundofgold.com. In the market report, the Dow was up 0.29% at close, but the S&P dropped a little, 0.37%. NASDAQ also fell 1.32%. Today on the National Day calendar is Pink Day. Every year on June 23rd, National Pink Day colors the world in vibrant shades of pink and explores everything it represents. Dating back to the 14th century, to pink, the verb, means to decorate with a perforated or punched pattern. Would have been curious to find pink used in fabric or decor during the Middle Ages. Occasionally, it was seen in women's fashion and religious art. However, in the 13th and 14th centuries, artists sometimes portrayed the Christ child dressed in pink, the color associated with the body of Christ. It's also National Hydration Day, reminding you to stay hydrated, and it's Detroit-style Pizza Day. It's National Pecan Sandies Day as well. Our quote of the day: "For me, prayer is a surge of the heart. It is a simple look towards heaven. It is a cry of recognition and of love, embracing both trial and joy." Saint Therese of Lisieux. And you can learn about today's saint in the Saint of the Day podcast, From the Slaves to the Immaculate Heart Sisters, by listening or downloading at crusadechannel.com/saint. You're listening to The Mike Church Show in the Red, White, and Dude Nation.
Goldfinger, he's the man with the Midas touch, a spider's touch, such a cold finger beckons you to enter his web of sin. You feel, for a golden girl knows when he's kissed her, it's the kiss.
And the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Spirit of 76. The Spirit of 76 details the true story of the writing and ratifying of the U.S. Constitution.
And here I would make this inquiry of those worthy characters who composed a part of the late Federal Convention. Sir, give me leave to demand, what right have they to say, "We the people"? Who authorized them?
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and is packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Spirit of 76 on a 2 DVD or 3 CD set. Available now at MikeChurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723. This is a pixel. I'm Groot. Now, if you put a couple of million of these guys together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple of billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 360 billion of them, and you got Chesterton's book, Orthodoxy. But it doesn't smell like a book, and it burns teeny little holes in your cornea. So is the pixel really your friend?
I'm Groot.
No, but the Founders Trading Post is your friend, and we have actual books with actual smelly pages. Plus, our little bookstore has everything you'd expect.
I'm Groot.
Yes, Groot, to the gourmet coffee, but no to the One Tree Hill sappy guitar music.
Pick up a copy of G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy, plus many other Chesterton titles at shop.mikechurch.com.
Want to go to the Golden Truth Ticket Maker Hotline for caller number 8. Who is this?
Hi, it's Pam.
Pam? Pam who?
Pam Brubaker.
Pam Brubaker.
In Michigan.
Oh, hey.
Yay.
Wait a minute now. You're not an RSTLNE member, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm busy taking care of 2 toddlers. One's 91 years old, and the other one's a poodle. But they're keeping me busy.
Did you have the secret code word of the day?
Yeah, dough.
Dough. Dough. Dough. Not to be confused with dough. Well, Pamela B., what would you do with the gold? The gold, if you should be the winner on July the 2nd.
Well, I'll do one of 2 things. It's either going to be added to my coin collection. We need our roof repaired, and it's slate quoted at $55,000.
Whoa! With $55,000, puts you on the gold coins put you on the radar screen there. You're at least within striking distance.
It'll help.
Well, Pamela, thank you so much for calling today and for listening to.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you and good luck.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, you too can win the next Golden Truth ticket that we're going to give away, but you got to be listening tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. when I play the soundbite of the day. Listen for it, play it back later in the day. Get that super secret password from the Mike Church Show Daily Highlight Reel video, and you can win 2 Golden Truth tickets, but you don't have to wait for that. Go and buy your tickets today at winapoundofgold.com.
I think I'll go to sleep and dream about piles of gold getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Here's a piles and piles of gold fun fact. When making Raiders, Spielberg chose the Golden Ark of the Covenant because he knew audiences wouldn't go, ooh, ah, if Nazis stole a parchment scroll containing a psalm. Now, we don't know where the lost Ark is, but we do know that Mike Church has 1 troy pound of gold in his safe, and that he's going to give it away on July 2nd, and you don't have to say, ooh, ah, to win it.
Win Mike Church's Pound of Gold. Tickets on sale now exclusively at winapoundofgold.com. Ark of the Covenant sold separately.
Most Crusade Channel wannabes only get the mission half right.
Men, you are about to embark on a great crusade to stamp out runaway decency in the West.
So why settle for half-baked radio hacks crusading in mono when you can get the real deal on the Mike Church Show?
Now go do that voodoo that you do so well.
In stereo. The Mike Church Show's Great Crusade is on the Veritas Radio Network's Crusade.
Daily combat against AI and the synthesis of all tyrannies. I am the Generalissimo of the Airborne 1776, leading combat on land, sea, and on air A Mike Church Show, 35 years young, now serving. You know, we're stuck on like dude number 149. Shockingly stuck on dude number 149. Get your dude number today at mikechurch.com or apply for your dude number at mikechurch.com/dude. We played the Golden Truth Ticket soundbite of the day, so if you are not caller number 7, then you have no chance of winning the rest of the day. But all of you are winners when you go and you support Sensus Fidelium and the Crusade Radio Guild, the Mike Church Show, and the Red, White, and Dude Network by purchasing your Golden Truth Ticket raffle tickets at winapoundofgold.com. That's winapoundofgold.com. Winapoundofgold.com. Folks, we set a lofty goal of getting to 10,000 tickets this year. Last year was 2,362. And so that was the benchmark. And right now, your odds of winning are 1 in 500. And I'd have to go look and refresh the page. Needless to say, 10,000 is looking very elusive. But you know what? I think we have the other 9,400 people. I think we have them right where we want them. They're right there, ready to snap that ticket up for a shot at the gold. And then here's your second place. There's your pound of silver right there. winapoundofgold.com. And remember, without you, there is no Mike Church Show. There is no Crusade Channel. There is no the rest of all that we have been doing here for 10 years now. So I know there's still a lot of people that have played the game and games in the past for far less prizes like Kia Souls that have yet to get your tickets, and we are counting and relying upon you. All right. What caller number were we supposed to take? Caller number 7. Now, if I had to guess which of the usual suspects that have not yet claimed their Wheel of Fortune RSTLN and E spots in the winner's circle on the 2026 Golden Truth Ticket, this part of the promotion is actually a contest. I'm going to guess that one of them is on the line and is caller number 7 on the Golden Truth Ticket hotline. So, who is the mystery caller?
This is Mike's favorite punching bag, dude, number 13.
Shuffle 13. Don't you miss Fiorella mispronouncing your name?
It was fantastic back in the day. I loved
it. Well, I already know what you're going to do with your pound of gold. You're going to buy new septic tanks, probably buy a new house after that. Get out of the house.
I mean, the septic system's still not paid off for, so that would go a long ways for that. That's for sure.
Is it really? Has it been? Was it?
Well, I mean, I got a little bit of help from family, but I gotta repay.
So you would put it towards home repairs and home. You do a Tim Allen win a pound of gold. You do home improvement.
I think that'd probably be where most of it would go. Yeah, our home is we're quickly outgrowing our home, I should say. So we could use a little bit of space, a little bit of room, a little bit of update.
Well, Jeff, that's a good problem to have, to be outgrowing your home. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your shot. Okay, give me the secret code word of the day to prove to people that you actually have to go to the site and you actually have to watch the video to get it.
Absolutely. I mean, you need some moolah to get some home updates. So,
it was fun. It was fun putting that list together. And by the way, for all you haters out there, I did not use AI. I made all the words up on my own, which is why some of them are so goofy, like moolah, duckies, clam. Well, I got 4 of them from the Big Lebowski: clams or bones or duckies or whatever it is you call them. So, all right, Schaefer 13, you are in the winner's circle. You got 2, not 1, but 2 shots to win that gold. Thanks for playing the game, and thanks for.
I'll be sure to purchase some more.
Okay, buddy. Thank you very much. Hey, your chance. Awesome. All right, Jeff. Thank you. That's Jeff Schaefer. That's our third dude number who has won. Dude number 13. Your chance obviously begins at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning in that segment when I play the secret soundbite of the day. Now, tomorrow or later today, in the rebroadcast of the show, you will hear Goldfinger play it again. Too late, bub. But tomorrow morning, you're shot. And in the meantime, you can go to winapoundofgold.com. Support the Crusade Radio Guild, who is here to protect, defend the good, the true, and beautiful through live television and talk radio. You know, Maggie and I were talking about this during one of the timeouts here. About the... and I don't know how to explain this phenomena. So you know what? I'm going to ponder it a little longer before I talk about it, and then I will try and explain it. But it has to do with what makes a talk radio and TV superfan. And we wouldn't have survived if we didn't have 800 and some odd of them. But there is at least one new one that has found us through the Census Fidelium site. And she has become a super fan. It is an enigma. And when we can figure that out, then our hedgehog project will come complete. Maybe I need to enlist some of you back into the brain trust and have some meetings on that. In any event, thanks for playing the game here today. And don't tune out now. There's lots of great radio and TV coming your way for the rest of the day. All right. Digital media file number. I just want to play this because I want to talk about this subject. Number 6. Remind me to go get a mouse pad for this mic. I keep saying I'm going to get one.
Stop hitting it.
I'm not hitting it. I'm hitting
The table. Stop hitting the table.
I can't stop hitting the table. It's what I do.
Stop using your arms.
I have the honor that John Martinez was a member of the Commerce Department at NIST, and he's a Nobel Prize winning alum, which is, if you don't think the people in the Commerce Department and in NIST are the best, I mean, here's an example. Nobel Prize winner who was part of our team. You all know that the government invested $2 billion just a couple of weeks ago in quantum to drive it forward. And besides investing in the companies, we've also invested in fabs to build quantum for others so we can manufacture these quantum in America. Now you have Ruth Porat from Alphabet. They are doing amazing investing in building quantum. And you have Arvind right next from IBM. We invested in his fab. He's got a leading fab, so he's going to be building those chips, right? So that's that idea. And then lastly, post-quantum cryptography, right? Once you have quantum chips, we've got to protect everyone in this government post-quantum cryptography. So NIST and the Department of Commerce is going to lead the charge to make sure all of us are protected and defended so we know how to deal with quantum when it comes. We're going to lead in quantum, and we're going to make sure we stay safe. And these are both the things you're signing today, and that's why you have such an amazing team behind you, because you are leading the charge in quantum for America.
I have no idea what he just said.
I know exactly what he just said, and let me just tell you, I'm sitting here watching this and going like, what are you doing? What is this? Now, let me just say to you, I am at some level, I am a Austrian economist type. I have read von Mises. I have read Hayek. But the most important of the Austrians, to me anyway, I have read Wilhelm Röpke. And in reading Röpke, I think you get because he was an actual practicing Catholic, very well formed. In reading Röpke, Röpke gets out of the theoretical and into the practical. But any Austrian would tell you what Howard Lutkin just said is, I stole $2 billion from the American people, and I blew it on a lavish computing party for my bestest, for mine and Donnie's bestest friends in the computer business. That's what he just said. This is the most horrific use of $2 billion that I will ever detail, outside of it going to something really stupid like, gosh, it's been so long since they brought it to an end, USAID. This is what's called the government picking winners and losers. Now, did you hear Lutnick go drone on about, we're going to perfect quantum, and after we do that, then we're going to invent quantum cryptography, and so that all of us can act all commerce EE and stuff, and do quantum and stuff, and then be quantum protected EE and stuff. So you invested $2 billion so you guys could, your successors could operate fancy new computers come with the guarantee that they're going to be hacked and all of your data is going to get leaked to Earth. And so then you have to go and pay another couple of $100 million to go pay someone to design a security system so that the quantum service didn't exist in the first place. Now that it exists, now we have to create a way to protect it. This is what's called crony capitalism. And they're just announcing it in broad daylight now. As if the International Business Machines Corporation, one of the oldest corporations on the continent, as if IBM needs government investment money. Let me tell you something, buddy. If IBM is going to Mordor with its hand out and is taking in government cash, then American industry and American business is gone ka-frickin' put. And then the other guys he had up there, they're all billionaires. And these people need my money to perfect their new computer or to develop their new... Can I ask a question? What did I need a quantum computer for? Oh, that's right. We must have a quantum computer because it has to process all the gigabits and gigaflops. They're going to be coming from the AI. Why do I have to have the AI? So there it is. In broad daylight, again, no shame, no attempt to try and say, well, this is a quasi-private public partner. No, he said we invested. And I'm thinking why he's talking about we? Who's we? I didn't. You didn't get my investment dollars. I invested in gold. Gold! And of all the things that I have heard today, that is probably one of the worst. So the Trump administration, and I told you people this. I told you. Which is why you have to think outside of this R versus D, voting, hoping, and coping box. They're just now the patronage. The founding fathers would have called what Lutnick just described, or Slutnick just described as patronage. And I'm not really opposed to patronage on the smallest scale imaginable. Well, obviously, you don't want any patronage, but I'm sorry, you're going to get it. But if we're going to have to get patronage, it needs to be on the smallest scale imaginable. What can the people in the home and the family do? All right, almost everything, and then the 8% that's outside of what they can do. Oh, let's turn to the town, and then the town goes, okay, we can probably take a quarter of that. Okay, now we're down to 6% of the family can't do it. Okay, now we're going to go to the county. And the county says, oh, okay, we can take 2% of what the family couldn't do, the town couldn't do, now the county will do it. Now we're down to 4%. Then you go to the state. The state goes, we can take 2%. We can probably do, we'll probably do 3% actually. So now you're down to 1% of what the family set out to do. And they said, I don't know if we can do all that. So there's only 1% of the task left. And to that, they then turn to the Union of States. That is the smallest denominator. And I may be overshooting it. That's what you have a union of states and a federal government for. Not to make investment decisions and call balls and strikes, winners and losers, on which businesses get bigger and which of the little guys out here get squashed with the bill and get poorer. Because you know what? That $2 billion had to be borrowed. And when you borrowed it, by definition, you devalue what was in my wallet, Howard. I am so sick of these people. But there it is. Like I told you today, when what's her name, Kelly Loeffler came out with the Small Business Administration, and they were talking about all the reforms they were going to implement, but they were still going to be giving out small SBA loans. I'm like, this is a sham. This is literally the definition of making America worse. There it is, broad daylight. So you're not going to get no wonder people don't want to celebrate the 250th. 844-527-8723, our call-in line telephone number. This portion of the program brought to you by the Dude Gear Store. It still is a thing. And you can still get your Beast and Butt Rub. And you know what? I have an entire box. Who wants a box Maduro wrappered Churchills? Actually, they're Calx Maria minor Churchills in the store, but they're pretty much a Churchill. Somehow during the ordering process, I ordered an extra box. And so I got like boxes of Manchipia Maria cigars freshly in stock and lots of Capuchin Holy Roast coffee. Did people stop drinking coffee in the summer? I must have missed that because I sure as Hades have mine. So shop with us today for all that, our Beast and Butt Rub, spices, and great books and much, much more. Don't forget your Dude Number t-shirts. You can apply for one there. Shop.mikechurch.com. Shop.mikechurch.com. Thank you very much. All right, back to the telephones. We have a banner day on the phones here today. So the youngest caller in the history of the Mike Church Show would be young Chris in Maryland, who is old Chris now in California or wherever he is. Where are you at?
Still in Maryland.
Oh, you are in Maryland. You made it sound like last time you called like you were in Louisiana.
No, I was in Louisiana in 2016 and 2017. I was in that other part of Louisiana called North Louisiana. But anyway, back to the an earlier subject, talk radio superfan checking in, Mitterchurch.
The very definition of a super fan, someone that survived 16 years, I'd say that you are a super fan.
That's right. And to answer your question as you were going to the call, hell no, I've got my coffee right here in my hand.
Now you said in your email, you said next time I call it'll be I'll have an actual topic to talk about.
Oh, good, you did get that email.
Of course I did. I responded.
No, you didn't.
It must have gone to spam.
Okay, all right. I'll check Proton Mail, whatever the hell that is.
So, suspense is killing us, man. Come on, my cortisol is rising.
All right, so I think I might have mentioned this somewhat in my email, but I've been thinking about it a little more since, and that is that I remember a time of all things when you and Levin shared a network, and I called Levin probably after I called you, spent 2 hours on hold waiting to talk to him. And that's back when I liked him.
That must really be a long time ago.
Yeah, but he has frustrated me, I'm sure for good reason, because, and I was thinking about this because you mentioned Mossad agents, and I think what it comes down to is words mean things. You or I or whoever can be critical of Bibi Netanyahu or Israel's government or whatever without being an anti-Semite.
Okay.
Levin or anybody really, well, anybody. I think he's one of the worst offenders. But I've noticed a lot of the most ardent Israel supporters have automatically taken any criticism of Israel as a criticism of the Jews, and it's not. Or at least it's not, so far as I can tell from most people I've listened to, or from myself, because the difference is that Judaism is a faith. The Jews are a people. Israel is a country, and so I think at this point that is quite honestly a dangerous assumption to make. And it has caused a problem in our discourse, which is making for a what's the word I'm looking for? I think a fracture that we don't need.
Oh, there's a schism.
Yes, a schism.
Or as the anti-Latin mass people like to shove in my face, it's a schism.
Yes.
You're guilty of schism. I am? So, you think then that that someone like Levin is partly responsible for said schism? And that... I think... And that there's a split between the camps in conservatism is I think what you're saying, but you will remember back in the day when you called me for the first time. It's probably one of the things that we talked about because back then I was asking the question. This would have been 16 years ago. I was like, sir, can you tell me exactly what it is you as a conservative are trying to conserve?
That's right. I remember that.
And of course they go like, what? And then there's, well, don't you look at me that way because we're trying to, you know what we're conserving there, buddy. Let me tell you something. And they can't ever answer the question. And Chris, I think that the reason that the question cannot be answered by most people. Well, number one, because all people are different, and we all seem to think that we have to march into the lockstep tune of the same little drummer boy, or otherwise, if we have little disagreements along the way, well, then there's something wrong. Well, no, that's what's called a disputation. And there were great saints that had disputations with other great saints. They had minor disagreements on things, and they argued. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think where the split is, and the reason why you are seeing that this particular schism today is because this is something that is it is almost as if the United States has basically been invaded by a foreign country. And there is a foreign country and members of that foreign country's government who are occupying very powerful positions in the U.S. government, in U.S. industry, in U.S. media. And I think that because it's now so in your face, there's no attempt to even to disguise it. I think that that the people who are defending the invaders, Chris, I think that a lot more average Americans are not appreciative of that any longer and won't tolerate it. That's what I think is what you're trying to explain.
Or an alliance between them, or is it really their defenders, the Levins, the Shapiros, who might as well be part of Israel's government? Who knows? But is it really? I guess my question is it really Israel's government itself, or
no, it is
people who are so supportive of Israel here that they they're influencing our government on Israel's behalf?
Well, both. No, it's both. Maggie, who was the Israeli, the MP that was boasting and bragging on Israeli TV that, yeah, we have people in the American government that absolutely do what we tell them to do. And we have worked very hard to work that relationship. There's no look. There's no doubt. There's no attempt. To me, they're doing it in public, and they think, because they live in the echo chamber that is Fox News, they think that the rest of all of conservatism is on their side. And as you know, for many, many years, we were on the outside looking in. You and I. It seems like I'm always on the outside looking in, Chris. In supporting and promoting the campaign of Ron Paul in 2008, 2012. You know what I saw yesterday, young Chris? Somebody reposted, because, Alan Greenspan died yesterday, the Fed chairman. He was 100. No, he was 104. Dude lived to be forever. He was Methuselah, literally. Alan Greenspan died. And believe it or not, folks, as a younger man and even into his middle ages, Alan Greenspan was very well thought of and very well respected as a, it used to be that Greenspan would go on old TV shows and would argue with Milton Friedman. I'm sure most of you know who Milton Friedman is. But Friedman was very cordial with Greenspan, and they had some spirited debates. But I saw a video yesterday, somebody put out on X, that it was Congressman Ron Paul who was interviewing or who was questioning Alan Greenspan as then Fed chairman in 2000, right before the dot-com bubble burst. And Congressman Paul was going like, well, you sat there and, you can read the M2 and M3 supplies just like I can. And that you have allowed this massive bubble and facilitated this massive bubble to take place. And it's all great right now. Everyone's happy when the bubble's being inflated. When that bubble explodes, there's going to be misery. And what I want to know is, number one, what do you plan to do about that? Number two, is there any plans to stop inflating the bubble? That's the question that a very young Ron Paul, I guess he was in his 60s, asked of Alan Greenspan. And I thought Greenspan gave him a pretty spirited answer. It was incorrect, but it was just great to see Congressman Paul. Because, Chris, you can forget, because Ron's gotten a lot older now. You forget just how knowledgeable he was and, the things that he committed to. And the things that he stood up for while he was in Congress were pretty substantial. And the only guy that was left to take his place is gone, and that was Massey. It's over. There's no one left.
Do you think Rand is trying to build on that?
I think that Rand is. I think that Rand has put his heart in. I just think that because he's on the Senate side, it may be a little more difficult to be as conservative as his dad was, because the senators act different than the members of the House do, and that just seems to be the way it goes. Rand could be Mr. Republican, but he tends to me to when he is radical, he's radical sometimes in the vein of the theoretical part of the libertarian wing, which is never right. It only sounds good in theory. It never works. And they'll say it hasn't been tried. Oh, of course it has. Of course it has. So there's people out there all across the ideological spectrum, but I hope I answered, or at least try to answer your question.
I did. You did.
Well, it is always great to hear from.
Question.
Okay.
How do you get in on these Thursday night things? I have been seeing the videos, and the guy and these dudes who are on them seem to be getting on video chats, like they're on Zoom calls with you or something.
It's StreamYard. StreamYard.
Oh, it's StreamYard. Okay.
You want to play?
So do you need to have the Founders Pass subscription for it or something?
Well, I would hope that you did. Are you telling me you're not a member?
Well, I've got to do it. Okay, I got to do it.
All right, send me an email after you sign up, and I'll send you an invite.
All right. Sounds good.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you. Always great to hear from young Chris. Now, for those of you that go like, well, who's this young Chris and why do I care? Well, that's when I tell you I have a 35-year career in broadcasting. That is just evidence of it. And that young man now called me when he was 11 years old in 2009 on the Sirius XM Patriot channel. And the person that screened the calls right there, it's her right there. And she goes, I'm not going to let you on the show unless you let me talk to a parent to prove you have permission. So his mom had to come on and say, no, he has permission. He can come on and talk. So that is how young Chris, and then he stumbled on me the other day, a couple of weeks ago on YouTube, and goes, wait a minute, Mike Church is still a thing? Thank the Lord that I am. Yes, yes, sir. So thank you. What's so funny?
You're funny.
Why am I funny? What am I funny? I amuse you? What? I'm a clown? What the makes me so funny? She's not going to answer me. I was reading this last night. Oh, I have a story I wanted to share with everyone. So the only people listening now or watching are like shut-in True Blue fans who just aren't going to miss any of the show. So I got like 9 people. I can name them. Schaefer, Bob, Julie. Who am I leaving out? Schaefer, Bob, Julie. Actually, there's 4 people listening. So for you 4 guys and gals, if you're not reading Small is Beautiful, this is a really good slow read. I'm 40% through it now. I was going to quote Schumacher today because he is, you know what, Janie and Aiden are listening. I'm sure Aiden is. I was going to quote Schumacher because I think that we are at the stage of our development as a people of the United States where the ruling elites treat us as if we are an industry. We are all just something, you and I are just something to be monetized. And they've monetized us. Whether you're out there doing their bidding by going and voting and hoping and coping, whether you're donating to their campaigns, whether you believe their line of BS, and whether you believe then you contribute to their to anything that they do, we are just parts of an industry. Oh, and there's a couple of big Supreme Court cases that we're waiting for the decision to come down on. The biggest one to me is Trump versus Barbara. This is for all the marbles. If Bob Kopka is listening, get your secede. T-shirt ready, buddy. Because if the notorious ACB and John Roberts sided with the leftards for a 5-4 on birthright citizenship in Trump versus Barbara, the United States is over. It was over a long time ago. Oh, hell, it was over at Appomattox. But the United States is over. Here's what Schumacher said about industry. Maggie, you can go to the SCOTUS blog. Isn't that where they release the decisions first? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just going to kind of hang around and dawdle on air just in case that one comes out. Is it today? Are they releasing it today? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just remind you that it was...
They're going to start at 9:30.
Okay, 9:30. It was on this... No, it was on the Feast of St. John the Baptist. And you know what? What is the feast on the 25th?
They just came out and said that they're going to push that back to opinions tomorrow.
Okay, so we're not waiting on it today. It was on the Feast of St. John the Baptist, remember? And I think for some reason it was also the Feast of the Sacred Heart, and it was a Friday.
Oh, that's today.
And the Dobbs decision came out. You remember Ross McKnight was in the studio on Coop Road. So this would have been in 2022 for one of the last interviews I conducted in that studio. And by the way, one of the things that we are going to do with Golden Truth Ticket proceeds, if there are any this year, is finally leave this little room in this house and move to Walls Inn and West and start the Walls Inn and West construction project. and build a new modest little studio that we're going to call home and all that. Schumacher. The ideal of, and now listen to this. Now this is in 1972. The ideal of industry is the elimination of living substances. Man-made materials are preferable to natural materials because we can make them to measure and apply perfect quality control. Man-made machines work more reliably and more predictably than do such living substances as men. The ideal of industry is to eliminate the living factor, even including the human factor, and to turn the productive process over to the machines. As Alfred North Whitehead defined life as an offensive directed against the repetitious mechanism of the universe, so we may define modern industry as an offensive against the unpredictability, unpunctuality, general waywardness, and cussedness of living nature, including man. There's your Schumacher for the day. It's and we have all been mechanized and industrialized and now algorithmized. Did you sign up to be algorithmized? Asking for a friend. Now, you're saying that one of them is out?
Yeah, and they just set the second one out just now, too. To you.
Hang on. Cisco Systems, they're going to hold Trump versus Barbara to last. Cisco Systems versus Doe. The court holds that courts may not create new causes of action for violations of international norms, and that the Torture Victim Protection Act does not provide for aiding and abetting liability. Decision number 2 is in ExxonMobil. The court, by a vote of 6-3 along ideological lines, holds that the Helms-Burton Act itself trumps the sovereign immunity of Cuban agencies and instrumentalities. So that is decision number 2. And we are awaiting, and then here we go. Decision number 3 is in Landor on whether an individual may sue a government official in his individual capacity for damages for violations of the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act. The court holds that a Louisiana man cannot sue. Ooh. We are scooping CNN because CNN doesn't have this. This is what you get for listening to live radio programs. As we broadcast these things in real time as they happen here on the Mike Church Show on the Ethics and Broadcasting Network. I wasn't following any one of those 3 cases, so they mean absolutely nothing to me. Although I'm sure, and the SCOTUS blog says there are 17 more opinions expected before the end of the term. The Supreme Court is set to release 1 or more this morning, and that may be it. So that may be all that we get today, and there may be more opinions. They're going to kind of soften us up for the Trump versus Barbara. And I wonder, Samuel Alito, practicing trad Catholic. Clarence Thomas, practicing trad Catholic. The notorious ACB, practicing quote, Catholic, close quote. Neil Gorsuch, practicing high Anglican ordinariate, close quote. John Roberts, baptized, confirmed, unknown if he's a practicing, but he is a Catholic. I wonder if Alito and Thomas aren't going like, we're going to save the best one for the Feast of St. John the Baptist, like they did the Dobbs decision 3 years ago. Could you hand me the calendar right there? I'm just curious now. Just, please. I just want to see what it says for today is the 23rd. My handy-dandy Our Lady of Guadalupe in Silver City, New Mexico, the Abbey Roast brothers, they send me this little calendar every year, and I keep it on my desk.
Here's another one.
Wednesday is Nativity of St. John the Baptist and St. Eric of Auxerre. And Thursday is St. William. Now, if they're going to drop a big one, I imagine it might be tomorrow because it is the feast of St. John the Baptist. And Maggie's saying there is another one coming out. So I just... And then here is number 4, the fourth decision on what constitutes just compensation following a tax sale. The court holds that the proper baseline for measuring just compensation is the auction sale price, not the property's hypothetical fair market value. Interesting. So we were waiting to see if we were going to get the Trump versus Barbara decision, which is the birthright citizenship. You know, if it doesn't go the way, if Trump were to lose that, then I'm going to tell you that this is going to be a very odd...
Secession!
What?
Secession!
This is going to be a very odd piece of jurisprudence, and they may try to narrowly, as they say, narrowly write it so that it only applies to that particular instance. But there can be no doubt, any reading of American history and of American ratified Constitution history and jurisprudence prior to the Wong versus Kim Ark case, there is simply nothing in federal law or state law that would suggest that any citizen or any person that somehow got here as a citizen of another land that popped a kid out here, that kid automatically became subject to the jurisdiction thereof of the several states. There's nothing there. I don't think that the Solicitor General, the guy with the raspy voice, I don't think he did a very good job of arguing it. I wouldn't have argued the way he argued it. And I was listening to it going like, I'm just surprised, dude. The argument to make is the Naturalization Act of 1791, and then the follow-up, the Naturalization Act of 1795. It's plain as day. It says what subject to the jurisdiction thereof meant when they put that in the 14th Amendment. So, as I said, I still don't know. In any event, I've been holding the story for a couple of days before we get out of here today. This is last Friday I had it. This is on the Wall Street Journal, Business and Hospitality section. Local burger chains are winning the fast food wars. In-N-Out, Culver's, and Whataburger drive sales and location growth with fresh food and friendly service. This is literally an episode of the Mike Church Show that we have done several times, but at least once in the last year, talking about the experience that when you're in the South and you are traveling, and if you want a good, reliable, well-made burger on the run, there's no place to go outside of Whataburger. Now, somebody will probably such and such mom and pops over there off of I-10. Okay, I'm sure there are. I just don't know about them. But if I'm looking for some place and I go, like, okay, is there a Whataburger within 100 miles here? And then your wife looks on the app, goes, there is. There's one 30 miles up. Well, you decide to stop at a Whataburger because they are all owned and managed by the owners. And when you go into a Whataburger, they'll tell you who the owner is. It's posted right there on the wall. And you're right. You know, you go into a Whataburger, and the people that work there are happy to be there, and they are happy to be serving you burgers. So, and to get even smaller than that, you know, the smaller mom and pops, we have one right down the street from here. It's called the Rusty Pelican. And they have been open, and I have been eating Rusty Pelican burgers for partner 15 years. And before it was called the Rusty Pelican, they were in partners with other dudes, and they called themselves the Triple Nickel. And I have been eating burgers at the Triple Nickel since, oh, good Lord, 2005, probably? So for over 20 years. And then the story in the Wall Street Journal is, despite competing against industry heavyweights with thousands more locations and colossal marketing budgets, regional chain executives said that higher quality and more loyal clientele have kept traffic strong without heavy discounting. Because you know what's going on in the big burger joints? Portion size. They're just shrinking the portions. And then telling you, like, Sonic came up with the genius idea of, like, well, how are we supposed to... How can we keep food costs in line and not compromise quality, yet like kind of convince people that they're still getting a great deal? So what did Sonic do? This is really genius. They came up with the Smash Burger. What's the Smash Burger at the end of the day? Well, it's a Sonic half-pound burger made with a third of a pound. or it's a Sonic quarter pounder with cheese made with an eighth of a pound. But they said, oh, no, it's better. It tastes so much better than the Smash Burger. We smashed it on the grill. No, they gave you a lot less meat and flattened it and called it Smash. They branded it, and people fell for it and went, oh.
It's great branding. It makes you think you've always wanted less meat in your burger.
That's right. It makes you think you have always wanted. Remember the Wendy's commercial? Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Final decision for the day is out. It is in the Lau case, L-A-U. The court holds that immigration law does not require a border officer to have clear and convincing evidence that a green card holder has committed a crime involving moral turpitude before deeming him an applicant for admission. In other words, CPB can lock you up. Immigration law does not require. So if you look like you should be a citizen of Venezuela and a member of Trinidad, they can ask you now. Are you a Venezuelan citizen and a member of Trinidad? Let me see your ID. And if you can't produce one... Bama, did you send me something else, or that's it?
That's the final one.
Okay, that's the final one. We did a Thursday night throwdown on the great classic American burger. Maybe we should do another one. It's summertime, after all, and talk about it again. Need a topic for Thursday night throwdown, so if you have one, send it to me. I am KingDude at protonmail.com. Congratulating Shafa Thoughtain, Jeff Schaefer, the Golden Truth Ticket winner of the day. Folks, stop keeping us in suspense. It's a fundraiser with a cool contest built in, and then the excitement of winning and us giving away a pound of gold. This is a troy pound of silver. And I'm going to give it to someone for a second prize. To win the first prize and a second prize and the bourbon basket, which is the third prize, and the $500 ammo gift card, which I keep forgetting to mention. There's a fourth prize this year. One of our listeners has donated a $500 gift card to Ammunition Depot. So it's an online ammo and gun supplies retailer. So you can use that $500 card at your leisure to do whatever you wish with it. So that is the fourth prize. And Steve Cunningham, Census Fidelium, is putting up some great stuff from Census Fidelium Press and other accoutrements that he will be contributing as we get closer. Then we'll start posting what those things are for fifth place winners. But you can't win anything, and you certainly can't win the Grand Champion Affiliate Competition, which is an actual competition, meaning it takes skill, sales skill. But you have to have a ticket first before you can start selling. So you could win one for free, which a lot of people have, or Go get one at winapoundofgold.com. That makes you an affiliate. Now you can use your custom affiliate link, which you get by clicking on the affiliate tab at winapoundofgold.com, and that will show you your unique affiliate link. Send that to anyone. If they click that link and buy a ticket, you get credit. Sell 10 tickets, get a free one. Sell 20 tickets, get 2 free ones, and now we're going to increase your commission from 10 to 20%. Now you only have to sell 5 tickets to get a free one. All commissions are paid in store credits, unless you're the grand champion Friday night. And then if you want, and you don't want tickets, you want the cash, we will write you a check. But none of that can happen until you take the contest, that part of the contest, seriously, and make your first raffle ticket donation purchase at winapoundofgold.com. Get your tickets, or 10, or 20, or 50. Put a group of people together and go like, hey, let's go in like the guys that try to win the lottery and buy 1.5 million tickets. Well, you can do that. Go together and buy 100.5 tickets or however many tickets, and then win or lose as a group. It's all at winapoundofgold.com, winapoundofgold.com. And thank you very much for all of you that have already participated. The saint of the day is Saint Etheltrude, or Etheldreda, also known as Saint Audrey, and Saint Joseph of Afaso. Also today, pray for us. And for all of you listening, keep it tuned here to the Crusade channel and the Ethics and Broadcasting Network. There's great talk radio. And, of course, this show's live broadcast coming up all day long here today. Great new episodes of Suspense coming your way today. I'm going to unpack CD number 4. Meaning that's between 70 and 90 new episodes of Suspense, and we'll load them, get them into the rotation, and they play for 2 hours a day right here on the Crusade channel. Have a safe and blessed remainder of your day. God bless you, and Mary keep you.
He's got the truth on his side. The liberals can run, but they'll never hide. He's a friend of Mr. Madison as he fights all leftisms. He supports our troops over there, stands up to the kooks from care. He's the KingDude of the nation of doom. Red, white, and doom.